Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to Late Night with E Honda, the greatest show on all of the internet, where we end up talking about all kinds of weird shit and stuff. Yankee's still not done. I was waiting for him to be done, but he's apparently never going to be done. He's just going to keep talking about shit for the longest time because Yankee has the worst takes on everything all the time ever, period, and doesn't like to fucking listen to anybody and thinks that he knows what's up all the time and talks over you and mutes you when you try to have a conversation with him. So, that's why I won't go on a show and slap the Yank anymore because there's no fucking point. I mean, the point of having a debate is for both sides to put their best steelman argument forward, right? And so that you can build this fucking armor up of here are all of the points that I have. Here are all the facts supporting that. Here's the fucking logic behind it. Here's this. Here's that. Boom, boom, boom. And then you do the same thing. And then I attack your position and you attack my position. And we see whose fucking steelman is standing the tallest at the end of the fucking fight. But if you're never allowed to fucking actually articulate the point that you're trying to make, you can never build that fucking argument in the first place. There's no fucking point. And that's why I won't go on Yankees chat and fucking have those arguments with them because it's fucking pointless. But apparently they were having some conversation about the IRS agents that were hired and how it's a good thing. That's what Yankee thinks anyway, which is the most retarded fucking worst take on anything I've ever fucking heard in my entire life. And I don't even know what his argument was, honestly. But if anybody out there was watching it, maybe you could fill me in as to what Yankee was saying about it.
How the fuck is that a good take on it? I mean, a good idea to hire that many fucking IRS agents?
I don't know. I honestly, I can't think of what his myopic thinking might have been behind that. Chill out, Honda. Don't tell me what to do on my own chat.
I would say it's never a good idea to expand government, but that's just me.
Well, true that, yes, exactly. But if those videos were real that were coming out showing their training, good God Almighty, that's a shit show waiting to happen.
Well, why does the IRS need dudes with guns?
They don't. I don't know why they wouldn't need them either.
I mean, maybe a handful of them, but certainly not every agent who gets hired on needs to be armed. I wouldn't think. Okay, well, before we do that, Daniel dropped in too and said, Yankee commie light, hashtag change my mind. I guess so. I mean, I guess fucking Simple Dan was right when it comes down to it. I was criticizing his argument before the chat, but when Yankee comes out and says shit like this, I guess he's fucking right. Dino says his argument was it's a good thing when it first happened, and it's conservationcy. I don't know what you're trying to say there. That they're going after the controversy that they were going after middle America and that they are just replacing agents that retired. No, they are not replacing agents that retired. They are adding, 80,000 agents.
Yeah.
That's more than the IRS ever had at any point. And it's not that they're replacing them. They are adding them. There's a huge difference between that. And if he can't fucking understand that, then he's looking at things from his CNN point of view, which he admits is wrong 47% of the time.
And didn't they say they were actually going to do it over a span of several years or whatever?
Yeah, it was a 10-year hiring. So every year they're adding 6,000 fucking agents or 8,000 agents. So this year they hired 8,000. Next year they're hiring 8,000. The year after that they're hiring 8,000. This isn't them replacing people. This is them adding. Yeah, it's 87,000 total agents in 10 years. So 8,700 on average per year is what they're hiring. Oh, here's part 2. He bought into they are going after the rich people. That is until they come after him for PayPal transactions. Now his stance is they are only going after middle-class America. No, I mean, they're going after everything that they possibly can. They're going after waiters for not claiming enough of their tips on their tax return. They're going after YouTubers for not claiming the fucking, $2,000 a year or whatever it is that they make. They're going after the kids' lemonade stand if they can, I bet, dude. They're going after everybody they possibly can. That's why they're adding so many agents to their fucking registry. Because think about this. In let's say 1940, right? For an IRS agent to discover that there is something wrong with your taxes, they had to go through line by line of your tax return sheet and discover that you in particular have lied about this or that, or this needs to be questioned, or whatever it is, right? Well, now they've got computers to do all of that. Now the computer can just go through the million fucking tax returns at a time and flag the, 10,000 of them that might have a problem. And then they're like, okay, 10,000 agents who each have a file, go. And they go after every single fucking person.
Do you think this might be a way for them to try to recoup some of the money that they printed off and keep printing off over the past couple of years?
I think it's a way for them to continue to have... So each country has a credit score that they have with the international banking system in which you get to borrow money at a certain percentage, right? And America used to be the biggest creditor. We used to loan money out to other countries. We used to fund things for other countries. We used to do all of these things. At this point, we are the world's largest debtor, not by GDP ratio to debt, because we have such a large GDP. But if our GDP starts dipping, as it will in the next year, that's going to become an issue. And then our loan amount that we can get for, hey, we came up short on money for this or that, give us more money on the credit card, is going to be a much higher rate. And the amount of money that we are carrying, the debt that we carry, therefore, and it doesn't happen all at once. The way it happens is you've got a 30-year note, right? And it's at 2%, let's say, right? The rate goes up to 4%. That 30-year note doesn't automatically go up to 4%. But when it rolls over and you still owe money, now you have to refinance it at that new higher percentage. And the more of our debt that goes into a higher percentage ends up fucking us that much harder. So, yes, that is exactly why they're going after every little penny that they possibly can, so they can show on paper, well, here's our income. It's like when you apply for a home loan, right? You have to show your income, you have to show your debt, you have to show all of your liabilities and assets and things like that. Well, we've already given up how many of our assets to other countries, like mining, logging, that oil rights to different countries. Why do you think they were kicking people off of? Why do you think they were kicking people off of land, like public land, like the Bundy Ranch and all that shit? Oh, it's because we have these deals with China where we borrowed trillions of dollars from them. And if we can't pay it back, well, I guess you can take the oil rights in this area. Well, you can't do that when Bundy's fucking ranching there, can you? So you got to kick him off now so that later on you're able to do that. It's fucking simple, dude. It really is. It's just you're not looking at the big picture. You're very myopically looking at one piece of it and saying, I understand the whole fucking thing, which if you're Yankee Marshal, obviously you don't. Obviously. I haven't even got into any of the stories I was going to talk about.
I was going to say real quick, I always heard the Bundy Ranch thing was because Harry Reid, who was a sitting U.S. Senate at the time, I think he was Nevada's governor at one point, was trying to actually steal Cleveland Bundy's land and sell it to wind farm investors from China and then pocket the profits.
Yeah, it was something like that. I don't know exactly what I don't know what the inside baseball was necessarily. I do know that it was something to do with we need the collateral that this land holds for whatever resource purposes in the future that it might have. We need to sell that to someone else in order to secure a loan or whatever it is right now. It's mortgaging the future to pay for now. Yeah. It's selling your children into slavery so that you don't have to feel the pain of spending too much money to keep your fucking shit-ass lifestyle up now. It's the American way today. It's the way it's been. That's the baby boomer way. That's been the way that baby boomers have lived their entire existence. They've always had the easy fucking gravy train of everything their entire life being handed to them, being handed down for them, being provided for them. And now it's coming to a point where things aren't going to work out that way anymore. And my generation and the generations under me are going to have to fucking struggle. But that's not our problem because we're the baby boomers. The Yankee boomers. I assume Yankee's a boomer, isn't he? Or is he fucking X? He's either young boomer or old X. I'm not sure.
No, I think he still falls under the boomer category.
Well, I mean, even if he doesn't technically fall under the boomer category, he's definitely lived the boomer lifestyle.
Right.
Stop being cringe. I don't think I can. It is what it is. Well, we got some Twitter stuff. If you want me to stop being cringe. Oh, and this is new too. Okay, I think it's screen 1. Yes, okay. So I had to change my whole setup because of being able to share audio, which is nice because now I can share audio, but it's also a pain in the ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's little differences. Like screen share used to be easy on the way it was before, and now it's like, what is this? Okay, I don't know. I have to use fucking Firefox for my window because if I use just Chrome or whatever, you can't hear me, and there's no way to fix it. So I had to download Firefox so it would fix it. It's little shit like that, dude. Oh, yeah. I do have to read the supers. Wonder why Yank won't make his nonprofit projects 501c3. Bet there is more of a reason than it's too complicated. I mean, certainly when you take in super chats and you say, okay, I'm going to donate this money in super chats, you take that money in as income, and then you donate it out, and that counts against your total income, meaning that your total amount of taxable money or whatever goes down, right? So you do get a bit of a tax break. It's not like 1-to-1. It's not like every penny that he takes in and donates out, he gets back in taxes. But it is like 30 cents to 1 or something like that. So there's that. But I don't really blame him for doing it the way that he does it. But with them hiring 8,700 fucking agents every year, someone's going to catch on to it, and he's going to be fucking audited, guaranteed. And he's going to be like, what in the hell? I don't understand why the government's doing this to me. Just like he did when the fucking Washington passed all their gun shit. He's like, if you guys remember, leading up to that, oh, they'll never do anything. They always talk about this every year, blah, blah, blah. It never happens. Oh, 10 rounds. Looks like I'm getting a 44 Magnum. Like, I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. There we go. Yes, I do have to read the super chats. I'm sorry, Daniel. I'm sorry. I read this one too. See? My bad. I thought this was funny. Don't worry, American voter. The election won't be rigged this time.
Yeah. Indicating that it has been.
100%. 100% 100% not at all what's happening. This is the exact opposite. He already carries a 44 Magnum. Yes, that's why, John. That is exactly why he has a 44 Magnum, is because having something else, too many rounds, you can't have that anymore because of Washington. Oh, well. Oh, you've got these new gun purchase laws. Doesn't matter for me. Doesn't affect me. I don't really care. They can do what they want. Sucks to be a kid, I guess, or someone trying to buy a gun for the first time. Yeah. Shit's fucked.
Speaking of which, did you guys hear about the fuckery in Oregon this week?
Yeah, they're
114.
They're doing. You got to pass like a background check, take a class, and all that shit before you can buy a gun.
It's basically Jim Crow laws in 2022.
Lovely.
Yeah, it is lovely. I mean, the whole fucking West Coast, Oregon, Washington, and California have just gone fucking left-hearted. Do you think that has something to do with the chemicals in the water?
Yes.
Because I was watching a PBS documentary, right? Like Colorado, where I live at, the water that we have is as close to the source of the water that you can possibly get, right? Like it comes from the mountain, from the Rocky fucking Mountains, and then melts and goes into streams and rivers and goes downstream to other states. By the time it gets to other states, it's full of pesticides, it's full of nitrogen and fucking poop from chicken farms and shit like that. It's full of estrogen mimickers and plastics, microplastics, all that stuff. And when they filter it at the water plant and they give it to you, what are they doing? They're taking out the bacteria. They're taking out the solid contaminants, but a lot of those chemical contaminants that are in the water, there's no way to get rid of it. There's no EPA regulation for it. There's no long-term studies on what they do to people. And yet they can pull fish out of the Potomac, male fish, and find like miniature eggs in the male fish testicles because there's so much chemicals in the water that they're fucking mutating the fish into thinking that they're female and their bodies are producing eggs. So, yeah, I think that there's a huge component of that. There's a huge component of like people who live closer to the coast just have tons of problems because of that. I mean, I don't think it's everybody. And certainly if you're aware of it and you have like reverse osmosis or you have some sort of like, I don't know, Berkey water filtration system in your house that you can use, and, you know, you buy like filtered water or whatever it is, like good water, then you can mitigate it to some extent. But even like the filtered water, like the bottles of water come in plastic. Plastic leaches out estrogen mimickers into the water. The longer it sits there, you drink that water, you start growing fucking eggs in your testicles, I guess. Not as bad because the fish live in that shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, even Colorado's going nuts too. I can't fucking deny it. Like, it's because we legalized weed and we brought all these people from the coast in, though, is the problem. Yeah. Ghost Shadow says, living near the ocean makes people stupid. And again, I don't think it's everybody. And I think that, you know, depending on your level of understanding of that situation and your actions that you take to mitigate it to whatever extent can improve your situation. But there's a lot of people who just drink the tap water.
Yeah.
Don't drink the fucking tap water, dude. You really shouldn't. You should stay away from the tap water at all costs. Like, it's better to drink tap water than to fucking die of dehydration. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Hello, I'm a child. Would you give up your guns to save my life? And then he punts him. I just thought it was funny. I don't necessarily agree with it. You shouldn't be punting children instead of your guns. But at the same time, the argument doesn't make any sense. Because if you give up your guns, how is that going to save any children? How many children has this gun hurt? The answer is none. How many children will this gun hurt? As long as it's not stolen from me or something, the answer is none. Ever. So, and then the other side of it is, how many kids will this protect? I've got 2 children. It will protect them. And it already has. And that's just one gun. And I always have that one because I carry it around everywhere. It's starting to get some wear on it. But the stainless fucking holds up pretty well versus blued or fucking parkerized or whatever else, you know? Fucking camera sucks. You can see little spots like on the corner have been rubbed a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Still looks good, though.
Yeah, like honestly, for how much I've carried this, like I had a Taurus, like a single stack Taurus, and bro, that fucking thing looks like I put it in the garbage disposal or something.
What is the trigger pull weight on that revolver?
Like 17 pounds.
That's what I thought, because I had one of those for a minute and I just couldn't handle it with my arthritis in my hands.
It's not that much, but it's, I don't know, it's probably like 10 or 12. You just stage the trigger, it's okay. Or I guess if you don't have arthritis, it helps a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you practice with these things, they're fine. I kind of wish that I got the 638, which is the one that has the concealed hammer that you can pull back, and it's got the rounded back strap on it or whatever. It's about the same price. Internally, it's basically the fucking same gun. That's the only difference. They're about the same fucking price. But yeah, I didn't get it. I got this one instead. And I'm not going to fucking go back and get the other one now because I already have this one. So it's whatever. But Dems are supposed to steal Arizona tonight. What, the governor or the fucking Senate? Because they already stole the fucking Senate, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I checked, it was 50-49 Republicans ahead. So we can look at that real quick.
They called Nevada, too, for the Democrat woman.
Oh, not Carrie Lake, but the other one.
No, the one that was in the U.S. Senate, whatever her name is, like Mastro, whatever it is. The one that was
Oh
running
yeah.
against Laxalt.
Oh, Kirkmeyer lost. That means more of Colorado went blue, and fucking Boebert almost fucking lost, which would have meant in the House almost all of Colorado would have been blue. Like, look at this fucking map, dude. Like, look at Colorado. Like, this would have been blue. These are all blue now. Like, these used to be red. This was solid red. This is, like the plains of Colorado is basically Kansas. Like, there's not much difference there. And
If you
then,
look at
like, Denver and Colorado Springs have a couple of dudes also.
if you look at the blue specks on Ohio's map there, that's all Democrat-run cities that they won in.
Oh, yeah, like Akron and fucking...
Yeah, they took
Yeah.
the 13th district because of that, because it's like 90% of Akron and then like some of Stark County.
Fucking Ohio, the land of poor white people. That's what Chappelle always says.
Well, I mean, we've actually become a redder state this year, so we picked up enough seats in our state house now to where every Republican could lockstep and kick out every Democrat in the new General Assembly.
But are they actually going to do that?
Highly doubtful, because there's too many rhinos in there.
Dude, the other part that doesn't make sense to me is like South Texas, like down here where immigration's nuts, you're going to vote for Democrats who are going to allow it. Like New Mexico, southern part of New Mexico is going to vote Democrat. They don't really care. They're going to fucking love it. Arizona, the southern part of Arizona is all blue. Fucking obviously California, but whatever. It's like, do you guys not fucking understand the problems that you're creating by voting that way? And then the other part of it is gun rates, right? Like you have these like people who live in South Texas, and Matt's talked about this before, who are pro-gun but vote Democrat. It's like,
I
does
don't get
that
that
make
either.
any fucking sense to you at all?
It's almost like they, it's either tradition or I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, okay. We're gonna do the new thing where you can hear the audio for the first time on eHonda's channel. You ready for this?
So I just voted for the first time as a Chicago resident.
Which way do you think she voted?
Daryl Dixon.
Beetlejuice 2024.
Oh, Jesus. That was fucking hilarious the other night where Duke's like, no, man. No, baby. No, baby. I'm not asleep, baby. I'm not asleep, baby. I'm never asleep, baby. Okay, then answer the question I just asked. Daryl Dixon. This is a good guess. Honestly, it was. You need to get the other one for that New York reload. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I do like a good New York reload. I have other guns for that, I suppose. This would be the New York reload, if anything. Like primary carry, bigger gun. That runs out, and you pull this out of your pocket, and they're like, wait a minute. Hooray, audio. Yes, finally audio that's not coming through my speakers and dependent upon the software of fucking StreamYard to figure out because they kept going back and forth as to how it worked. The majority not exaggerating are people with less than 6th grade education. And the kids coming out of school these days, dude, like, no offense to kids coming out of schools these days, but you guys are fucking retarded. And I mean that in, like, the honest definition of the word. You have been held back to a point where you're not at the level that you should be. The age that you're at, when I was fucking 18, I'm not saying I was smart, but the kids my age were able to fucking hold a conversation and make an argument and look you in the fucking eye when they were talking. They can't do that now. Whatever. There you go.
Yeah, it is. It's sad. But I think the parents are finally starting to wake up to an extent on all that.
A little too late.
Yeah, a little too late, but better late than never, I guess.
I mean, they started turning the Titanic before they hit the fucking iceberg, and it's better that they started turning it than never, I suppose. Actually, there has been a study that showed that it would have been better if they just let it crash directly into the fucking iceberg, because there was more armor at the front than there was in the side, and the way that the iceberg scraped along the side plates of the Titanic ended up creating a larger hole because the rivets weren't the right metallurgy, and they popped off and then fucking left this big ass gap for water to just rush in throughout like a large section of the ship. And if they'd hit it head on, they could have closed off the front fucking part if there was a leak and fucking kept sailing, limped it back to New York.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was a bad analogy. I don't know. I was always huge on the Titanic when I was a kid. I read several books about it before I was even 10 years old. It just fascinated me for some reason. Do you have anything like that you were just like weird about, that you learned a whole fuck ton about that no one else did? Or like not no one else, but other kids were playing basketball and you're reading about the Titanic.
I'm sure there is, but I can't think of anything offhand.
The other one for me was the Battle of Stalingrad. Like, I always hated reading unless something was interesting to me, and we had to do a book report. I think I was 12 years old at the time, and we went to the fucking library, and everyone was picking out the book that they had to do a report on, and I just ended up with this book about Stalingrad and started reading it, and I was just like, holy fuck. Like, this is insane, dude. How does no one know about this? And I read all about it and fucking read another book about it later in life and stuff. Stalingrad's a fucking crazy battle. Texas will get secession referendum vote in the general ballot as a result of this election. There is some positive. Well, I mean, if you look at this map again, though, is Yankee still going?
One can only hope.
Okay, Yankee is done now. Thank God. You look at this map, they're turning more and more blue. I mean, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots in Texas that are blue now. It used to be fucking solid red. Colorado used to go mostly red with, 1 or 2 spots that were blue. And now look at us, It's fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking nuts, man.
And then you look at states like Ohio here. We used to be a bellwether state that was very much could go either way, and now we're solid red for the past decade.
Yeah, it's because, well, I think the reason why Colorado turned blue, like I know the reason why Colorado turned blue is because we legalized pot first. We were the first state to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone moved to Colorado with a pipe and a dream from these Democrat-run areas with their Democrat ideology and brought their voting with them. And here we are. I mean, it was like 10 or 12,000 people per month moving to the Denver metro area because of weed.
Oh, yeah, at least, yeah.
Here we go. Randy Butternut says, I was obsessed with sharks in the 4th grade. As a result, I read a bunch of scientific novels about sharks. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be an oceanographer, honestly. Like, funny, a kid from Colorado who wants to be an oceanographer. And then we went out to Florida to visit my aunt and uncle. And we were on, like, my sister rented a Ski-Doo. And I was riding on the back of it. And she did some dumb shit and fucking took a turn on a wave. And it threw me off of the back. And I'm sitting there bobbing in the water with my fucking life vest, waiting for her to realize and come back to me and pick me up. And all of the thoughts of all of the things that I knew that could potentially be underneath my feet that I can't see right now started flashing through my head. And it was in that 5-minute period of time I decided I was not going to be an oceanographer. Night Guard Kyle says, read books about George S. Patton, Harry S. Truman, and Jim Thorpe, all American. Patton had a really high voice. He sounded like Cotton, like from King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Kind of had like a high voice, high way of talking. The way he died was kind of mysterious, right? It was like fucking riding in the back of a fucking Jeep, and then they head on with another Jeep, and there was, like issues with the treatment of his wounds thereafter, and they ended up dead. It's like, was any of that on purpose? There's certainly a lot of people in the military who didn't like him. Military brass hated that motherfucker. But he was an effective general. Just found YouTube Family Guy. Women voting for the first time. This is what I'm going to piss everyone, the women at least, off with at Thanksgiving. There we go. Sorry, the parentheses got me. Yeah, I mean, women's suffrages, the way that the country would vote if women weren't allowed to vote, this entire map would be red. The entire fucking map. Because there's not enough leftist dudes to outnumber the dudes on the right. Even fucking like Hawaii, which is pure blue, would have been red, you know? There's a reason for that, because you have to make a logical argument for men. You have to make an emotional argument for women. In general, not all the time. But when the emotional argument doesn't care about facts, and the factual, logical argument doesn't care about feelings, they're kind of incompatible with one another. And so, like, why do you think that they did the Roe versus Wade thing in the federal, the Supreme Court, you know, a couple months before the election?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, people like Matt were like, oh, thank God, this is great. Well, what did that do? What did that do? That fired up the emotional response from millions of women from across the country who cared about nothing else other than them having the right to have an abortion. And we've had this conversation many times before. I don't care about abortion necessarily. I think that there should be social pressures on women to not have an abortion. I think that should be the driving factor behind limiting abortion, is your family being like, fuck you, daughter, for doing this, you piece of shit. Or like, fuck you, neighbor, you murdering whore, you know?
So do you think with them doing that, do you think that was one of the factors in people voting more blue this go around?
I just said that. Yes, exactly. Exactly that.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I stepped away for a second.
Yeah, 100%. That is exactly why they're, you know, that's exactly why it's even close in the vote right now. Because otherwise, what would the Democrats have to campaign on? Anti-Trump? That's the only thing they talked about. Trump wasn't even running.
I feel like they beat that dead horse into the ground way too much. I guess permanently embedded in the soil.
And there's, you know, like a fair amount of people who are always going to feel that way or whatever, and they're always going to vote that way, and like they've already been won. So like making that argument again doesn't really get you anywhere. Mm-hmm. But if you put Roe versus Wade back on the chopping block and you make it a states' right issue during a midterm election where states' rights are going to be decided, guess what? You're going to fire up the base of the left to go out and vote as much as possible, even though they don't know the issues beyond that one issue, even though that one issue probably wouldn't even end up the way that they're being told that it would be if they didn't vote. So, yeah, that's honestly, you think that the fucking Supreme Court's on your side? No. I mean, when it comes to gun rights on a few things, I think, yeah, maybe they've made some good decisions, but that's because they've had to, because the arguments are so strong in favor of the Second Amendment that without them going after the Second Amendment directly, which would call like 2/3 vote or whatever it is, which they'll never fucking get, like that shit ain't going away. So they have to rule based upon the facts. They can't just ignore that shit and make a ruling. I guess they could, but yeah, whatever. What are you going to do? You're going to get Beto and that chick from Georgia.
Stacey Abrams.
You know what this picture is from that they pasted their heads on?
Road Trip?
Yes.
It's Road Trip.
Good Luck Chuck?
No, it's Road Trip.
Oh, Road Trip. Close.
One potato, two potato, three potato whore.
Yeah.
The fuck is this? H2 or Fe32? Hydrogen or iron? I don't know what you're talking about. Patrick Pew Pew says, goes to show we never should have been allowed women to vote who are emotional, and for a week a month, they're insane. I mean,
Well, my mom used to say that's one reason why she would never vote for a female president, because of that factor alone. They'd be too emotional when they shouldn't be.
you would need to have a chick who is basically a dude, you know? You'd have to have, and like that chick from Arizona, what's her name? Carrie Lake. I really like her. She makes really good arguments. Like when people attack her, she doesn't get emotional. She gets very logical. That's very dude-like, you know. And those are the aspects of her. Call them feminine or masculine or whatever. That I think makes a good leader. Like you need those masculine traits in order to be a leader. And if you have a bunch of feminine traits, it makes for a piss poor leader. And it works in like the like work environment too. You know, I've had female managers and I've had male managers. The male managers are a lot better at their job in general than the female managers because they don't get all fucking hissy and butthurt about shit and then take it out on you and then apologize later and then take it out on you and then apologize later until you fucking quit. Female managers have done that to me several fucking times. What are you going to do?
Right.
You would need a hardcore lesbian like Janet Reno to be president. Yeah. I didn't like Janet Reno though either, because okay, did you see like it was right after Waco happened, or it wasn't right after, but it was when they were having like the congressional hearings about Waco and like why it led down the road that it went down. And I know she had what disorder did she have, like Parkinson's or something like that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was some kind of medical issue.
But like normally she would just be talking and she would seem fairly normal. But then when she was giving that thing, I think she was so stressed out, she was like shaking around and stuff. And like I don't want to make fun of her for that because it is what it is, you know. It's not necessarily within her control, but I think it's a factor of the amount of stress that she was under. And I think because she was directly lying to the American people about what she was saying, lying to their face through her fucking, you know, snake-like teeth. And that makes you have issues, I suppose. I have 10 guns. If the government takes 10 from me, how many do I have left? 19. I have 19 left because I lied to those commie bastards. I only have 5 guns.
As like we were saying before, you have a bunch of like cheap ones that you wouldn't mind giving up, like high points or skies or etc.
I'd rather have a bunch of high points than a bunch of skies.
Oh, true. That, and I've heard that if you buy multiple skies, you end up getting looked at by the ATF because they're such a Saturday night special type of gun.
I'm sure the same thing applies to a high point, though. Honestly, high points are cheaper than skies. Like, how much does a sky cost? Like almost $200. How much does a high point cost? Almost $100. It's a pretty big difference. You know, for $500, you can get 4 high points. For $500, you might be able to get 3 skies. You know, it's.
Wasn't there one at the J.M. Davis Museum that was used in a crime?
There was a Gen 1 high point that they had in one of the windows, yeah. Like the original OG high point. And it was in their, like, used for crime section. I thought it was funny because I've never seen one. I've actually never seen the original high, or if I have, I don't remember it. You know what I mean? Josh says, or women could be like the female supervisor who got fired for sleeping around with my coworkers. I'm not going to say that I've never fucked a manager. Whoops. Did I say that out loud? Calhoun says, be right back. I'm going to go make myself a bologna sandwich. If only there was a woman here.
Damn.
Not without their uses. Okay, watch this, dude. You don't need the sound for it. So this dog comes running in. The dog that the kid's playing with sees him coming, knocks him down to protect him. Honestly, it's to protect him, to get him out of the way, and then confronts the dude. This dog needs like 50 chew toys and all the love in the world from the family for the rest of his life.
No shit.
That's a good fucking dog.
That and another one's coming out too to help.
Yeah, and if like there's a longer version of this video where the owner finally comes over, it's like, dude, by that time that kid's face is fucking ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand people love their dogs, but if you have an aggressive dog, you need to understand that and fucking put his ass in check and make sure that he's got a leash on and can't get out. Because otherwise you're going to have some poor fucking 6-year-old kid who's got his face fucking ripped off, and it's going to be your fucking fault.
Yep.
And there's pieces of shit out there who will live the rest of their life and, you know, not really care that happened or that it's their fault. But most of us aren't like that. And do you want that on your conscience for the rest of your life, that some poor kid out there got his face fucking ripped off because you're a fucking dumb fuck?
I was attacked and had my face bit. Ended up having to have plastic surgery to create or keep from having a cleft lip.
Oh, so that's why you look like that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't when I was a little kid. I was like 20 something, and I was going over to my buddy's house, and they were downstairs playing video games, and they're like, yeah, front door's open, come on in. And I let myself in, and they had like this big ass Rottweiler, dude. Big ass fucking dog. And I like dogs, you know? And I fucking was like, oh, hey, buddy. And he fucking laid down, and I went and I petted him, and then I was going to give him a dog hug. And he was cool with it until I tried to give him a hug. And he fucking like reached up and he bit my fucking ear. And my fucking ear was hanging by like a piece of skin, and they had to we went to the ER, you know, like, fuck, what are we going to do? Like, okay, go to the ER. And I thought they were going to like sew it up and give me antibiotics and do all this stuff. They put butterfly bandages on it and iodine and sent me home. And it cost like $2,000 for a couple of butterfly bandages and some iodine.
Jesus.
Yeah. Sucks to not have insurance sometimes.
Right. Yeah, they actually had to care flight me to Scott and White and Temple to have plastic surgery.
Jesus. Well, the weird thing was they told me that they don't usually do stitches for a dog bite. Because if you do stitches, it can like seal the infection inside of you, is how they explained it to me. And that it's better to like have it open so that it can drain out.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Go Shadow says there are shitheads with aggressive dogs that will let them run loose. When my kids were little, lived at this apartment complex that had like a kids park and all this other stuff, and there was like a dog fucking, what do you call it, where there's like a fence around the dog area, like a dog run, but not that. Dog park. They had a dog park.
Yeah.
And this guy had a fucking, it looked like a Doberman Pinscher, right? And he was like letting him into the dog park, and he let him off of his leash before they got inside of the fence. And he saw my like 3-year-old running, you know, and this dog takes off after my fucking 3-year-old. And I saw him, you know, I saw him from 100 yards away, and he was barreling towards my fucking kids. And I got between my kids and the dog got near me, and I winded up and I fucking punted as hard as I could in the fucking ribs. Fucking this dog went yelping off. The dude was yelling at me, and I fucking let him know that he's a fucking piece of shit, and he deserves to have every little bit that fucking happened to that dog. And if he has a problem with it, to fucking come find me at this apartment over here, number 308. You know? Like, fuck you. I'll kick you too, motherfucker. Keep talking.
I think I would have fucking ended up hitting that owner a couple times, teaching his ass a fucking lesson.
Well, he backed down because I'm a bigger dude, you know, and he wasn't. I think if we were more equally sized, he probably would have stepped to me, and I probably would have had to beat his ass in front of my kids. There's been a couple times where I back people down because of my kids. Because I'm just, dude, there's something about when you have kids that you don't understand until you have kids.
Exactly. That, like, 100%.
You have this protective instinct that I would rather fucking die right now in the worst way than have anything happen to my kids. Go ahead and try me. When they look in your eye and they see that shit and they're like, okay, I don't want to try you. I see that you are not lying. Okay, so this thing, BuzzNet, is bullshit. It says 20 questions. It's like 50. They always get you. They're like, oh yeah, just 20 quick questions and you can determine who you are. And I went through the whole fucking thing and I got the Hulk. That's what I got. So here, I'll post a link to that. If anybody wants to see what superhero they would be. And it's fucking 50 questions, not 20, because I'm not going to lie to you like the fucking BuzzNet will. But if you want to answer 50 questions and find out if you're going to, which one you're going to be, which one do you think you guys would be?
I don't know.
I was hoping for Doctor Strange, but I didn't get Doctor Strange.
Matt will be Captain Marvel.
Matt would be Gamora. You don't know? You don't have one that you would like to be?
Yeah, I'd probably be Quicksilver.
Okay, I can get down with that. I like Quicksilver from the X-Men series movie or whatever, where he's the kid and he's living at home with his mom.
Yeah, Whiplash, where he grabs fucking... I can't remember the dude's name. Magneto, when he was in jail in that building, and he goes in and brings him out. He goes up to him, holds back his neck. He's like, why are you holding my neck? So you don't get whiplash. He's like, what? Whiplash.
Yeah.
I like Hawkeye. I think I'd be Hawkeye.
Yeah, he doesn't have any powers, though. Come on. No powers. He's just good at shooting. I guess that makes sense. I'll accept that answer. $2.4 billion Powerball winner. I didn't know someone won.
In California.
Takes home $628 million after taxes. Jesus Christ. Dude, the government loves this shit, don't they? They got basically $1.4 billion in tax money because they keep tricking stupid people into buying fucking Powerball tickets, and they're all stupid except for the guy who fucking won.
Yeah.
And even he's stupid, he's just fucking lucky, you know?
Yeah. That, I think they had issues with the fucking machine when they went to either pick the numbers or redeem them. I don't remember, but there was some issue with the machine.
One of those states,
yeah, the
I
dude
forget
in
which one it was.
California.
They weren't calling it fast enough.
Yeah.
Because they had to pay, put more tickets out or whatever the case being. They were still selling them by the time it was going to be called.
Wait, they were still selling them after the fucking numbers were picked?
No, it was like within like that hour beforehand or whatever you could sum them up to. They were like still had people at the door buying them at that time, and they had to be delayed because of that. And I forget, it was one of the M states, if I'm not mistaken.
So it was being fortified, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah, fortified election. I like it. Butternub says, I'd be Superman, so literally everything would be effortless. Also, I like to fly. Superman would be cool until someone has some kryptonite and fucks your ass up.
Yeah.
And that's what always happens. There's always someone with kryptonite fucking your ass up. Remember the suck cut? Oh, this is called a Floby? They have a new one? Oh my god, you gotta listen to this. This is great.
But hate haircuts even more? Introducing the Floby Precision Haircutting System. Get that freshly sucked hair you've always dreamed of without leaving the house. You can suck your whole family. Mom, sister. Watch Uncle Steve suck himself. Looking good, Steve. But hate hair.
Why did that strangely sound like G-Webs?
Where is G-Webs? I thought he was going to be here. Damn it. Oh, well. This one's for Angry, who's also not here.
It's too late for Angry. He's in bed.
Yeah, but it's fucking Friday. You don't got to work tomorrow, motherfucker. Stay up a little. Live a little. He used to be here for these things, and now he does his like early chat at like 3 in the afternoon because it's like 5 o'clock for him. Fucking East Coast motherfuckers. Keep drinking your tap water, bitches.
It's probably why they elected Fetterman.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's exactly why they elected Fetterman. Saturday. I meant Saturday. Fine, fuck off. You knew what I meant. There's no work tomorrow. The point still stands, even if the day's wrong. My bad. I misspoke. Reportedly, footage. Okay, watch this. This is a dam in Ukraine. This is the Russians attempting to destroy the dam while they're retreating. Oh, it's not playing. Like, so you can see like the water flowing out here or whatever. You know, it's an electric dam. They're fucking. Oh,
shit! Holy fuck!
But the dam still stands. All the electric power is fucking gone. Everything got fried. Like, look at those fucking transformers over there blowing up now. I wonder though, like, even if it didn't blow it, like, take out the dam immediately, it probably did enough damage to it where they're gonna have to like demolish it and start over, or do like crazy extensive repairs. And certainly the electricity that it's producing is no longer being produced. So,
oh yeah, they fucked it up either way. Crippled it. You still see pieces raining down in the water.
let's watch that again. Oh, right here.
Good God.
Jesus, dude. Wonder if that was a rocket or a bomb or what the fuck. You know, can't really see what it was that did it. Is Russia? Are they like suing for peace? Like, what's going on in Russia right now? Does anyone know?
I don't know.
I mean, in Ukraine, rather. Damien Cray says, "And we'll pay for it."
Yeah, pretty much.
Open checkbook. Go ahead.
I'm surprised Dickface didn't have his watermark on that video.
Emmanuel says, Yankee muted you because you were over your time and kept talking. No, if you go back and watch that, there was no timed, oh, you get 2 minutes, then I get 2 minutes. It was he said something, and then I was saying something back, and then he started talking over me, and I would be quiet. And then he would say something, and I would say something back, and then he would talk over me, and I would be quiet. And like the third or fourth time he did it, I stopped being quiet. I just kept talking. And rather than let me finish my point or being fucking polite to a guest on your chat and trying to fucking understand what they're saying, he would talk over me. So I started talking over him because he was doing it to me, and then he muted me. So go back and watch it again, motherfucker. That's not how it went down. Georgia man heard a kid screaming in the woods, grabbed his firearm, and held a suspect for police. But guns don't save lives. Fucking hero. Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who saves a kid like that, fuck yeah, dude, you got my vote. Your enemy is not in Russia, but at home. Every single one of these motherfuckers. Who's that? Mitch McConnell? I can't remember who this is.
Chuck Schumer.
Oh, Schumer, that's who it is. Hillary Clinton. You got fucking Mitt Romney, Bush, Obama, fucking Biden, Liz Cheney, whore, and
Alcoholic.
Hammer time.
Hammer time.
Damn.
What is this? You see about the adventure with purpose guy? No, what? I have no idea what that is. Adventure with purpose? You guys know what that is?
No. More context, Daniel. Daniel Simon.
Adventure with purpose. The group of American investigators with scuba divers who used to locate sonar missing persons in their vehicles and water bodies, focusing on cold cases. What about? Okay, I do know about this guy. I don't know what happened to him though. Did he fucking die like looking for somebody or something? Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, you do. You've talked about him before when you were drunk and pulled cars out of water with dead people in them. What about him though? I know who he is now. Turns out the guy is a child rapist. Oh my Jesus Christ. That's why he's adventuring to like cover up the bodies that he to learn how the police tactics work so that he can better hide the evidence. That makes sense.
That's fucked up. We've already kind of gone over the hypothetical situations that people like that should suffer.
Dude, Emmanuel Fernandez, don't fucking talk about my mom. Next time you do that, I'm like, that's the kind of shit where if you said that to my fucking face, I would make sure to knock every single one of your fucking teeth out. And since we're on the internet and I can't do that, I'll put you in timeout for 5 minutes because that's the best I can do. But fuck you, don't ever fucking talk about my mom. You don't get to do that. You don't have the right. You don't have the, like, there's no fucking reason to do that. There's no point behind it besides you're just trying to get to me. And honestly, dude, if you did that to my fucking face, I would knock every fucking one of your teeth out. I would stab your fucking eyeballs with a big pen. And you deserve it. And I would go to jail for that, for doing whatever, and I wouldn't care. I'd sleep like a fucking baby in my jail cell after doing that.
Yeah.
What?
I was about to say something, but probably shouldn't say it.
What? That he's a fucking cocksucker? That he's a piece of shit faggot? That he's a fucking piece of shit faggot who likes dick up his ass? Is that what you were going to say?
Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
There's certain things that should go without saying, and you just fucking don't talk about certain things, and it's just common sense, man. Use your fucking head.
I don't get it, dude. Like, oh, you made an argument against Yankee that I don't like. Therefore, I'm going to talk shit about your dead mother. Like, fuck you, dude. You are the biggest piece of shit ever. You're right up there with, like, fucking all these people on this list. Your fucking face should be right here in the middle instead of Obama. And yeah, if you go back and watch that chat, I'm still fucking right. So fuck you. Fuck you and your fucking gay faggot ass. God damn it, dude. That's why TC got banned. That's exactly why TC got banned forever. And every time I will ever see TC in any chat ever, he gets banned again. And I don't care anymore. Like, I believe in the right of free speech. But that's the thing, dude. You can go up to someone and say some shit like that in real life and you're going to get your fucking teeth knocked out. But since we're on the internet and I don't have the fucking ability to do that because you're in whatever fucking state not near me and I can't knock your fucking teeth out like you fucking deserve, I guess I have to ban you. Yeah, like a little fucking bitch. Yeah. See, even Daniel agrees. Fuck that shit. Fuck you, dude. Emmanuel Fernandez, the big fucking fat fucking faggot who likes dick up his ass and down his fucking throat. That's what I heard. That's all I fucking know.
Exactly, Daniel. It's one thing to troll, but when you bring in, talking shit about someone's dead mom or dead – relative, whatever, fuck you. There's no room for you.
Wow. Whew. Okay, cool. We're moving on. So, with 2 terms ahead, Illinois Governor J.B. How do you say that? Pritzker? Aims to ban AR-15s. AR-15s are not assault weapons. With over 21 million AR-15s in the country, the Second Amendment protects the AR-15. Let's listen to this.
Well, again, that's going to be a question of, a roll call, of looking at what we can get, and I'd like to do it in a bipartisan fashion also, what we can get together. We'll see. I think that the fact is whether we get it done in November, we get it done in January, early in the session, whenever that may be, we are going to work on passing an assault weapon ban.
There you go. They're working on it in Illinois. Because right now in Chicago, you can't own that shit already, but that's not all of Illinois. That's just Chicago. They want that all over. So, and honestly, let's look at this map again. How is Illinois looking?
Very blue.
It's got a lot of blue in it. Seems like they can get that kind of thing done in spite of the Second Amendment, in spite of the fact that the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed. It doesn't seem to apply if you have, majority blue area.
I think there's going to be the latest state that gets to take into court battles at this point because it's already been deemed case law in some cases.
Well, and the thing about it is, they know that it's going to be challenged in court. They know that they're going to lose if the court upholds the law the way that it's written in the Constitution, and they do it anyway. And they do it because while it's being challenged, the order's in effect. While it's being challenged, you can't buy that thing, and they've won. And then later on, after everybody's turned their shit in and they've made it so a bunch of people can't buy the shit or whatever, then it gets repealed, just like the fucking bump stock ban, right? That got turned around in court, if I remember correctly. And technically, you can still own a bump stock now, right? Or is that not true?
It got stayed for a little bit, I believe, and then it eventually was ruled to somehow be a machine gun. I'm not sure. I know it was ruled unfavorably, is what it was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the latest one.
Oh, no. Daniel says no. I guess not. But, I mean, if it were to get turned over, right, if the courts actually, upheld the fucking law and said, this is a component of a gun, Second Amendment says shall not be infringed, blah, 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 okay, overturn gavel. Well, how many people already fucking turned in or destroyed their bump stocks? How many companies stopped producing them? How many companies stopped selling them? Now you guys don't have. And I didn't particularly care about bump stocks myself. I didn't think it was very useful. I thought it was kind of a waste of ammo. I didn't own one myself, but I also didn't think that the government should be stepping in and stopping anybody from owning one. All right, let's see what this fucking cuck-ass bitch has to say. I didn't mean it, dude. I figured I could joke with you the way that you always do with each other. Didn't know your mom passed. All right, well, now you fucking know. Don't keep my mom's fucking name out of your fucking gay-ass faggot fucking mouth.
Yeah, that's also what that bitch couple of shoot that said. And you said it enough throughout these chats that how do you not know?
It's fine, dude. I'm going to let it go because there's no point in getting angry at someone. But seriously, you say that shit to my fucking face, I would knock your fucking teeth out of your fucking face and smile while I do it, showing you all of mine.
So going back to the gun control thing for a minute, that BM 114 in Oregon, there's at least one county sheriff who already said she's not going to enforce it, and she wants to see lawsuits against it.
Wait, say that again? I was thinking about something.
She wants to see lawsuits against it, and she refuses to enforce as a county sheriff, and she said others should do the same.
Yeah, that works until, another election or two down the road and there's a new sheriff who's all willing to fucking enforce shit. Like when Colorado passed all the magazine ban stuff, there was a whole bunch of people who were like, yeah, don't care. We're not going to enforce it. Doesn't matter. But then as the years go by, how many people are enforcing it now? As far as I understand, there's only been one case in Colorado where someone's been charged, and it had to do with a red flag law violation, wherein ex-girlfriend went crazy, called the police, fucking made up some lies about the dude, had him red flagged, and when they showed up to do the red flag check and take his stuff away, he had a bunch of magazines, and they charged him for every single magazine.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So each one was like, I don't know, like 3 months in prison or something like that. I got 10 of them. That's 30 months in prison, bro. That's not fucking cool. Where's never enough ammo? I think he had a tough day today. I think he was talking about it on his chat earlier about how he woke up all ass early in the morning and then had to do a bunch of stuff and work and this and that, and then got off doing that, went to daddy-daughter dance thing and da-da-da-da-da, and then had to go to the store and then did his chat, and now he's probably sleeping like a bitch.
Yeah, he also had to get something to eat.
Well, that's what he said. He's gonna get something to eat and then be here, and you know.
No, he passed out.
Here we are.
he duped out.
Yeah. I'm pregnant, but my husband doesn't know he's not the dad. What do I do?
Jesus.
This is what they say to do. Nothing wrong in that, as few people said. It is your body, and you are complete. It is completely your wish whom is allowed to touch your body. Being your husband, he will have the responsibility to take care of the child, even if he's aware that he's not the dad. Nobody can question you, and the law is there to support you. First of all, as a precautionary frame, some false case against your husband. As a precaution, frame some false case against your husband so that if he plans to move legally, you can counter it with this: physical torture, mental torture, dowry, harassment. There are many more ways you can lock him from his activities. Contact any female lawyer and make sure she's a feminist so that she can help you more sincerely. If he acts more smart, then go for divorce and claim good alimony and maintenance so that he can't marry again with his financial capability. You can live happily with your child and your lover, or you can just live with your child. Being a feminist, I wish you all the success in your fight against the man.
Jesus Christ, man.
This is America today, where she can cheat on you, have a child with the person that she cheated on you with, lie to the government about, frame you for some fucking shit, and then rope you in for the rest of the kid's life to pay for that child that you didn't fucking have with him.
Yep.
And the government is on your side. The law is on your side. 100%.
It's happened before.
Cook County runs Illinois Springfield. Doesn't do anything. Why me and my family moved to Florida in July. Democrats still continue to run that state. Yeah, bro. Fucking Springfield's a fucked up company too. Like the way that they colluded with local government officials to limit. What was the deal with that exactly? Limit or ban fucking other gun companies from being able to sell in the state so that they had a monopoly on.
Yep.
Basically, fucking Illinois. Is that?
Yeah,
or am I
much.
mistaken?
Yeah, and get rid of the smaller mom and pop shops and stuff.
Yeah, so fuck that company. And it's not like they fucking changed hands since that happened. It's the same people in charge and in ownership of the company right now that did that shit back then, you know? It's not like
Arms was also involved in that. Nobody ever mentions them because they were to a lesser extent.
Yeah, fuck them too.
My buddy
has a Rock River AR-15, but he bought it back in the fucking Dizzy. So, and he bought it used. X-Adam1 says, bad as Springfield is, I'd still get the 5-inch Prodigy, mainly because I can't afford the big boy 2011s. And that sucks. Honestly, it does suck because I do like some of the guns that Springfield makes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the guns that they make are really cool or good design or whatever it is and high quality, yada, yada, yada. But since you're a fucking bunch of pieces of shit, fuck you.
Yep. They do have a lot of nice 1911s too. It's like yesterday someone posed a question to Matt with a gun to your head. Would you rather buy a Springfield or Rock River Arms?
I'd rather have a Springfield, honestly. Not that, like, ideologically either company is a good choice because of what they did, but just because there's more guns that I would like to have that are made by Springfield than I would like. Because the only thing that Rock River makes that I would like is an AR-15, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're good ARs, like, but there's plenty of other companies that make good ARs. There's not as many good companies that, well, I mean, there's plenty of companies that make 1911s, but the Springfield 1911s are fucking cool, you know? Like, they don't make them the same.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
he can get a paternity test and prove it's not his. Not if she preemptively goes and frames him for some shit like physical torture, mental torture, dowry, harassment. What else did she say? There are many more ways that you can lock him from his activity. Yeah, so like if you preempt the shit, it's not like he knows that she's pregnant. It's not like he knows that she cheated. It's not that he knows that the baby's not his, and then she just does this shit, and then, oh, you're also pregnant? Like, you're just in a whirlwind of fucking shit at that point, you know?
I'm not sure if it's everywhere else, but I'm pretty sure in Texas, if that happens, the husband, it's automatically his kid, whether it is biologically or not, because of being married to the mother.
Yeah, and like if you, for instance, in Colorado, and I don't know if it's like this everywhere else, when you're filling out their Social Security information and you're sending it off to the Social Security office, when you sign that paper, you are taking legal responsibility for that child, whether it's your child or not. So there's that part too. So if she just, lies to you enough to get you to sign the paper, then you're fucked. Doesn't matter. Paternity test or not. Calhoun says, those high powers can be tempting. Oh, the high powers. Get behind me. Get the... I can't fucking read right now. Get the behind me Springfield. That's not a sentence.
That's the way John Fetterman says a sentence.
Yeah, exactly. Thomas Wadhouse was an English circus performer who lived in the 18th century. He was most famously known for having the world's longest nose, measured at 7.5 inches long. Dude, check out this schnoz.
Jesus Christ.
I'm assuming this is like a wax museum version of him or whatever, something like that. Get thee behind me. God damn, dude.
Joey Savoy, I'm not sure if it matters whether you sign the certificate or not, because it's been a while since I've heard about it, but I'm almost 100% sure that it doesn't matter if you're married to the woman. It's automatically by law your child.
Hold on, I'm messaging Matt. Still awake. Okay, there we go.
So with a snout like that, are you like a shark on land? You can smell shit from a mile off.
I imagine going down on a chick's pretty either pleasurable for her and displeasurable for you, or there's something going on with that.
Right? You just stick your nose in her hoo-ha and toss her salad at the same time.
Just That's just ridiculous, though, man. I wonder if he had any kids, and if the kids had like noses like that too. Like, is there someone walking around today with like maybe half of that nose going on? There's got to be someone today, right now.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay, did you see this? The fucking the transformer who won the fucking beauty pageant. This is a transformer, and she just won, and everyone's clapping, and she's crying. It's crying. And I was saying, like, dude, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with this if she was actually attractive. Like, if he could pull off looking like a chick. But if that was a biological female who looked exactly like this, do you think that she would win the fucking beauty pageant? No. So it's just a fucking pity vote. It's just a pity vote. It's like the slow kid who gets fucking prom king or something, you know? Oh boy. So in Texas today,
Dios mío! Oh, Dios mío!
that happened. It almost seems like the fighter pilot guy tried to hit him. You know what I mean? Or like he wasn't looking or something, or I don't know, dude. He kamikazed his ass though.
Dios mío! Oh, Dios mío!
That's just crazy. Here's another view of it.
Oh, shit!
I'm not showing this for like shock and awe purposes or whatever. YouTube moderators just saying it sucks.
Yeah, it's sad.
I mean, these things happen at air shows on occasion, I guess. Oh, are you still in fucking hear everything mode? Is there echo going on for you guys?
I don't hear it.
How about out in the chat? Like when Ohio or Corey talks, are they echoing?
Echo.
Echo.
How many people died? I'm not sure. Certainly the pilots. Because no one had the time to fucking eject. There was no time. You know, they were flying too fucking low.
That and the way he came up from almost looked like almost behind. Yeah. Unless the one that was flying towards the bigger plane might have had a chance to eject, but I didn't see anything. Usually you can see him eject.
Dude, they had like 3 seconds. They didn't have time.
Yeah.
6 or 7. 7, I think, says Eduardo. 6 plus 1. Someone on the ground, I'm assuming. Yeah, because like the fighter jet, it would either be 1 or 2 people in there, and then the bomber would usually have at least 2 pilots and maybe someone in the back. Yeah, and they don't have ejection seats in World War II aircraft. That's another part. So like to eject in a World War II aircraft, you got to like open the cockpit manually and jump out, and then have your fucking parachute ready and stuff. So yeah, those dudes didn't have a chance. No chance. All right, we got David Hogg talking shit.
Not surprised.
Gen Z and young millennials under 30 voted at such a high level and skewed for Democrats so much we canceled out every voter over the age of 65 across the U.S. And I wrote, so you mean a bunch of know-nothing propagandized kids who got through 12 years of indoctrination camps changed the way the country is going and you're proud of it? Fascist. I don't know. Is fascist the right word there?
Probably. His buddy Maxwell Frost actually won a congressional seat in Florida this go around. That's what I fear right now for future dictators is people like that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of David Hogg myself. I mean, it'd be one thing if he was making like good logical arguments that made sense, you know? And, like, I just don't like the fact that, you know, he's making them. Like, okay, now I gotta like figure out a way to like argue against that. But no, he just gaslights and fucking points shit out. He's a little fucking bitch, dude. Like when the shooting was going on at his school, he wasn't even there. And he fucking grabbed a camera and ran to the school so that he could cover it because he, you know, like that's what he wants is fame and notoriety. And it's not about fucking, you know, changing the world for the better. It's changing the world for an ideology that he agrees with.
The sad thing is these fuckers are going to be taking power here in a few years. And then we're
Maybe
really
next year.
fucked.
Oh, shit. HBO Matt dropped in 5. Thank you, sir. It's a Texas federal judge ruled 922 G8 law unconstitutional. No possession of firearms is under restraining order. Judge talked about talking chainsaws to gun laws. Taking chainsaw to gun laws. Oh, I see what you're saying. About taking a chainsaw to the gun laws, like ripping them to shreds and getting rid of them.
Yeah. And he said if under a restraining order.
So if you're under a restraining order, there's no federal law against you having a firearm just because you have a restraining order. What about buying one? Because right now, if someone has an active restraining order against you and you fill out your 4473, you get denied, or at least you're supposed to, right? I don't know. I don't know. Hogg with his free ride to Harvard, even though he wasn't academically qualified.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing, though, is you can get through the fucking institutions these days. Like, when I was going to school, if you went to Harvard, it was because you were fucking smart. And if you weren't fucking smart and you went to Harvard, you'd fail out. And that was the big problem that they were having with, like, the equal opportunity, like, diversity people who were in the school, is they didn't have the academic grades to actually be in that school. And a lot of them, like, they were failing out at a higher rate. And they'd be better off going to, like, a lower level school where they were, like, their IQ level was better suited for what they were being taught. But since it was Harvard and they were teaching these kids who were, like, super high level, like, the ones who weren't super high level couldn't keep up. And so they were dropping out. And they were saying how racist it was back then for, like, the whoever kids to go to that school and then be kicked out of school because they weren't able to keep up. Like, they should have gone to, like, Brown University or something like that, you know? But no, they've lowered the standards in 2022 to the point where pretty much anyone can get through any school as long as you show up and try. And
Well, shit, they lower the standard on everything. I mean, look at, because they're so desperate for police, they lower the standards so much for them.
yeah, that's not like, well, that's a whole other fucking can of rats. Like,
Yeah.
because what you want, if you're being honest and you want, like, police to do their job better, you want to have the best possible people in the position that you can possibly have with as much training as you can possibly give them, right? But since you've made it so a lot of police officers in certain situations get in trouble for what they're supposed to be doing and get fired and charged and jailed and whatever, good cops are quitting because they're like, fuck that, I don't want to be in there. And so you necessarily have to lower the standards to fill those positions. And what you get is worse policing. So, like, this whole, like, defund the police thing has done nothing but fucking increase crime, has done nothing but made policing more brutal and more crazy because, you know, the IQ and training of these people who are in the position, their temperament hasn't been taken into consideration as much as it should have been. And yeah, you get fucking crazy shit going on.
I also heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but they took away the requirement of having a high school diploma or a GED to become a cop now. You don't have to have either. Or either or.
Dude, how fucking hard is it to get a GED?
It's not.
Yeah, I got one in less than 6 months.
I feel like I could go in right now cold and take the test and pass well enough to get a GED. Without studying, without looking at a book. Just, like, give me the fucking test, you know? And there's a lot of tests. It's kind of a pain in the ass, I guess, or whatever, right? Like, how many tests? I didn't get a GED. I got a fucking high school diploma, which no one's ever asked me for in my entire life.
Same.
But Yeah, and like I did pretty well in high school because I fucking felt like I cared more about what I learned, I guess, than my grade necessarily sometimes, which means I didn't have always the best grades. But when I wanted to get good grades, like junior and senior year, I had a straight 4.0 both years. And it wasn't that hard. I had to try, I had to show up, I had to do my homework. But did it take a level of intelligence that, is beyond most people? No. Honestly, it didn't. Sorry for being white says college is for dumbasses. If I was a business owner, I would avoid college education. Depending on what you're doing, right? Like if you need engineers, yeah, you need fucking college educated engineers. There's no way around that. But I'll tell you from a guy who worked in construction, and you deal with these civil engineers who were fresh out of college, who didn't have any real world experience, who just had like the book fucking experience and the classroom experience. They were fucking dumb as fuck because they knew how to do the math or whatever, but they didn't know how to apply it to reality or how to translate that into something that could be done in reality with a machine and with people on the fucking ground. And you can only get that through doing it. You can only get that through being on the fucking ground and watching it happen and being involved. And I guess the other part of it is you need to know how to do the math, but whatever, dude. Like, it's just fucking trigonometry. Like, honestly, it's a little bit of fucking like knowing tensile strengths of things and shit like that. But if you could look that up in a book and do some math, you could figure it out if you knew how to do it on the ground. It's my experience too. Like a lot of the time, the people who were college educated are the fucking dumbest ones in the room. Not all the time. There's some people who go to college who are really smart. There's some people who graduated from college who are way smarter than me, way smarter than me. But when I was going to school in college, there was many times I felt like I was smarter than the fucking professor. Like, those who cannot do, teach.
Mm-hmm.
In front of the flag. Please look in the direction
Oh, this
of
is
the
great.
photographer in front of the flag. Dear sitting near other side, please look to the back in the direction of the photographer's.
Dude, he was waiting for it too.
He said, "Not today, Justin Castro."
Because he looks right at him and then instantly turned and you're like, oh, let me shake your hand.
And he says something to him and still ignores him.
Daniel says you don't have to go to college to be an engineer. You can work under one for 7 years and you are considered a application engineer. Got 2 on the payroll. Yeah, and it depends on what you're doing too. I mean, like I think with certain industries like structural engineer, electrical engineer, civil engineer, probably mechanical engineer. Like if you work in a fucking like mechanical factory building engines or something for long enough, like you've effectively learned everything that the engineers know and can do exactly what they're doing. And then the other part about it is too, like with the way technology works these days, there's nothing that you can't look up online. There's nothing that you can't learn from watching a YouTube video or like, like reading a manual or whatever it is. The entire litany of human information and knowledge is on the internet. And all you have to do is have the ability and want to look it up and fucking figure it out for yourself, and you can do it. If you have the capacity to do it, you can fucking do it. Like, for me, like, English was always the difficult one, right? Because English class, it's about, like, well, what are we writing about? And is it in this kind of fucking format? And did you punctuate it the way that I want you to? And is everything spelled correctly the way it should be, right? And, like, turns out none of that shit really matters, right? Like, if you misspell something and you're looking something up, the fucking internet figures it out for you most of the time. Unless you're just spelling it so fucking wrong, which occasionally happens. You ever do that when you're writing something and you like the internet can't even figure out what you're trying to say, so you have to like switch the word?
For me, I've always been a more hands-on learner. I've always learned better with doing it with my hands in a textbook anyway. In a textbook, anyways. And that goes with anything. So
Well,
I'd rather go that route, like what Daniel was saying, than have to go to school for however fucking long just to learn it.
like for me, like math was very easy growing up. Like we would go through one math problem. I would figure out why it is that the math problem works the way it does, and then I would know it. But then for the class, you got to do it 100 times in your homework so that the dumb kids can remember. But I wouldn't do it, and then I would show up and I would get like an A or a B on the test, right? And then I would figure out how many homeworks I have to turn in to get my grade to an A, and that's how many homeworks I would do. And then I was bad though, man. Like fuck it, like I don't care. I'll do what I want.
I hated math.
The only math that I didn't like was geometry, or not geometry. What's the other one with shapes? Yeah, that's geometry. Algebra was fucking easy. Like college algebra, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Super fucking like finite business math, fucking super easy for me because I would just do one problem and I know how to do it. And then the test, oh, I know how to do it. Oh, maybe there's like one question that was kind of like a screwball question where they didn't have things in the right notation and you had to have it in the scientific fucking notation to get the right answer. So you had to convert it from like, I don't know, pounds to grams or whatever it is, and I'd fuck that up. But I still did the fucking math right, I don't know.
Yeah, people in my algebra class in high school, they fucking hated me because I'd sleep through, 90% of the class, and then come test time, I'd fucking ace the test. Even the teacher was pissed at me, the first, I don't know, couple of months until she realized that I knew what I was doing rather than having to pay attention to the whole fucking boring ass class. But she let me sleep.
Calhoun says, "Little Honda, me fail English. That's impossible." I mean, like public speaking, though, for instance, like that was a class that was really hard for people who were unable to take a concept and put it into words in front of a group of people. For me, that was always easy. Like you just fucking talk, and then like I would get like really good grades without trying in that class versus other kids would just try and never really get anywhere. They maybe get a little bit better, but they just suck at it. There's something that you're just apt to know or you're not. And if you're apt to know it, you don't really need the class, but you need the class to get your fucking credit so that you can move on to the next thing. And that's the thing that sucks about school is it holds smart kids back so that stupid kids can be fucking brought up. Right? Like, school's not a place for smart people. If you're really smart, school's annoying as fuck. If you're really smart, school is a place that just fucking sucks all the time, and you're just sitting there bored, like drawing on your fucking desk, getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Like in junior high, in 8th grade, dude, they did this thing where they got rid of referrals. It's like 7th grade, I probably had like 3 or 4 referrals, but I'd get in like little trouble all the fucking time. In 8th grade, they got rid of referrals and they turned it into timeouts. And a timeout was a lot easier to get than a referral. And they kept track of all of the timeouts, right? Like the end of the year, like they made a spectacle of it actually. And they called the people out by name. Like, here's the number 3 kid in timeouts, and it was like this fuck up kid. And then here's the number 2 kid with timeouts. And it was that fuck up kid. And guess who was number 1? I had more timeouts than anyone in the entire fucking school. But it wasn't because I was a fuck up. It was, well, kind of. I mean, it was because I was dealing with shit at home, and like mom had cancer and dad didn't give a fuck, and I'm bored as shit. So I'm gonna fucking make my own happiness right now. But yeah, for me it was more like I just want to fucking not be bored than it was like I have no choice but to fuck up. Yeah, I had more than anybody in the entire school. That's funny. Kind of proud of that, actually. Fuck those other kids.
I spent 3/4 of my freshman year in ISS because I was a little shit. but I do all my schoolwork in like the first hour or two and slept the rest of the class.
I used to do like the homework that would take people 2 hours or 3 hours to do at home. I would do on the bus ride to school because I could. Because why would I do it at home when I can do it on the bus ride to school?
Right.
All right, check this out. I thought this was hilarious.
It's a fucking tree! Fucking asshole!
A guy looks like Tommy Chong to me. I don't know.
I was just fixing to say the same thing. Yeah.
It's a fucking tree!
That's great.
Oh man, there's a couple stories, local stories. Northbound I-25 closed down because of a shooting. Okay. 12-year-old boy and 14-year-old boy injured in drive-by shooting. 12-year-old boy died. Okay. There's a bunch of other stories like this too. Like Colorado's going to shit, dude. Especially Aurora. If you look at a map, like Denver, the east side of Denver, like over here, is just turned into fucking. It's Chicago. Like this part of Denver is Chicago. Right here too, like right in the middle of Denver, and over here. Like I live down here where it's a little nicer, but there's just homeless people. You know, I used to live. Here, let me get the bigger map. I used to live like out here where it's not even really part of Denver, you know, like backed up to the wilderness and, you know, like other stuff to do. Like my backyard used to be a giant horse ranch, basically. Like we didn't own it or anything like that, but like the house that we had was on the edge of the horse ranch. And if you hopped a fucking barbed wire fence, you were on like 1,000 acres of land that had nothing but horses and bugs and dirt and trees and shit, you know? And we'd go over there with our BB guns and shoot targets and shoot birds and like, I don't know, explore things. And there was this pond that we used to go to and catch tadpoles. And I don't know, it was fun, dude. It was cool. It was a good childhood. Like now my kids go out the front door because there's no back door. And it's nothing but fucking like destitute homeless people and like traffic. It sucks. It sucks for them that they don't have that same experience. And I wish I could provide it for them, but I can't, you know, because like the houses out here, first of all, the backyard area that used to be my, you know, horse ranch that I would go through is nothing but houses now because it was sold for developers. But yeah, you walk around with a BB gun these days, you get the cops called on you. That's what we used to do. Bicycles and BB guns, basketball and fucking, you know, when you finally get tired of being out in the sun or the cold or whatever, you come in and play some fucking Nintendo, I guess. But other than that, we did what we fucking wanted outside. Like we'd leave the house during the summer, especially, you'd leave the house at like 8 in the morning and you wouldn't come home till 6, 7 o'clock at night when dinner's ready.
Yeah. And parents back then, you know, when you and I were growing up, didn't have to worry about their kids fucking, you know, playing out in the front yard or just wandering around for hours or all day. Shit, now I wouldn't even let my son out the fucking front yard without my supervision because you just never know these days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's, I mean, there was a study that showed the correlation between diversity of population and social trust. And as diversity goes up, social trust inversely goes down, right? So like the more diverse the population is of people who live around you, the less safe you feel with your kids going off and doing whatever, right? Versus the less diverse the population of people is who live in your area, the more likely you are to trust your neighbors and to let them go do whatever. And, you know, they might call that racism or whatever, but it doesn't matter if it's primarily white and then, you know, like it gets more diverse and the white people don't feel as safe, or if it's primarily black or Hispanic and then it becomes more diverse and then the Hispanic or black people don't feel as safe. It's the same fucking thing across cultures, across populations, across ethnic backgrounds. It doesn't matter. That's what the study shows. So whenever they say like, oh, diversity is your strength and diversity is so great and blah, blah, blah. Well, yes, diversity of thought is great. Diversity of options of things to do is great. Diversity of population isn't always great, though. It honestly isn't. It's not a good thing all the time. Especially when it comes to social trust. Because, yeah, there's reasons for that. Too bad they can't change the school system where each class you're in would be based off how good you are at the subject instead of age. And once you get to high school, there is a little bit of that diversification of education, right? Again, where is diversity good? In education, you need to have a diverse education system that's able to accommodate both stupid and smart kids, right? So that if you have a bunch of dumb kids in your grade, I guess you're in the remedial English class. And if you have a bunch of smart kids, they're in the advanced English class. And never the twain shall meet. Because if you put a smart kid in the dumb class, you're holding him back. And if you put a dumb kid in the smart class, he's not learning anything, Like it's bad both ways. But the way they do it, at least in grade school, all the way up until high school, and even like the beginning of high school, is like, this is the level that you're at, so we're going to teach everybody the same thing. And that's why, and I think it's even worse now. Like, you guys remember going to school and the first half of the year, you're just relearning the same shit that you learned last year?
Yeah, I know. Oh, God, I hated that. I almost dropped out of high school many times for that same reason, because our teachers, they were only there for a paycheck, and they were teaching the bare minimum. And I just quit giving a shit about school because it was boring. It was nothing new until I moved from where I grew up to up here by, DFW area, is when I finally fucking started to give a shit about school anymore.
Yeah, and for me, I didn't give a shit about school. My mom was sick and dying of cancer. And then after she died and I moved out on my own and was working and paying rent and captain of the football team and also going to school, and everyone around me was like, oh, you're going to fail. Oh, you're going to fall on your face. I was like, fuck you. I'm going to do twice as good as you think I can. And that's when I got a 4.0, right? Because I wanted to prove that I could. The problem was I burned myself out for college. By the time I got to college, freshman year of college, all I wanted to do was party. And so that's what I did. And then I lost my academic scholarship. It sucked. Decisions. Oh my God. Okay, what do you think's going to happen?
Oh, fuck.
What's going to happen?
It's
Final
going
Destination 3.
Yeah. The track's going to break.
Final Destination 3.
What about it? What does that mean?
The beginning of that movie. They're on a roller coaster.
What happened? I don't know.
Not good things.
Yeah, the track broke. The fucking car system came off, and it was a clusterfuck.
All right, you're all wrong. Here you go. Did you see that?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
It's this person right here. Look at that puke, dude. Oh my God. And just the timing of it, everyone gets covered except for if you're sitting in the back. And even they probably got some fucking splatter spray.
That's just wrong. And then it stops upside down. Fucked up. Oh man! Could you imagine having your mouth open, screaming, and then just?
Oh.
I forget the name of the movie, but at the beginning of it, it's like the pie eating contest, and the dude eats a bunch of Epicac and then starts chowing down pie as fast as he can.
Stand by Me.
Stand by me, thank you, yes. And then it makes the person next to him throw up, and then like people in the crowd are throwing up, and then every single person throws up. Like, I'm okay. I can touch stuff. I can see stuff. That's all fine. The smell, I can't stand the smell. Smell hits me, I'm fucking done. The smell of puke in my on me, I might throw up too. I'm gonna have to try really hard not to, and especially if you're spinning around in circles like that, I'm probably throwing up too at that point. Yeah, fuck that, right?
Yeah, we found that out in Tulsa.
Yeah, dude. And I've never, it's not like I'm hiding the fact that smells get to me. Dude, when I was like a little kid, I went over to like a friend's house to play. And, I was like 4 years old or something like that. And they had like a 1 or 2 year old like baby sister. And the baby sister pooped her diaper. And we were sitting in the room. And the smell of the poop diaper hits me. And I fucking puke all over their living room. Right? And so this poor lady fucking sends me home like, oh my God, your son's sick, blah, blah, blah. My mom asked me like, are you feeling okay? And I was like, no, it was the smell. Like, I feel fine now. Oh, this is hilarious. Hold on. So he's a black belt. Somehow. I'm sorry, I couldn't help with that one. I really...
Oh shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Guns change, rights don't. It's always the argument of like, well, the founding fathers couldn't have imagined an internet where people might be able to use free speech to affect people well beyond their small group of friends or whatever. Well, yeah, they kind of did. They didn't think the internet, but they always thought like err on the side of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to guns, it's like, well, all they had was black powder muskets. They couldn't have ever thought of something like an AR-15. What was that gun that Lewis and Clark had? It was like it was an air gun, but it was strong enough to kill a deer or a buffalo or whatever, and it held like 30 rounds or something like that.
Oh, they also had, more modern guns than they did just muskets and black powder and shit. So their argument that they use that way is just incorrect. But I don't remember what that gun is called.
Does that mean that people could have cannons? It's like, yes, actually, literally it does.
Yep.
Dudes had fucking privateering boats that they would use, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they would that was the original Navy. It was like some chartered fucking boats that were privately owned that had cannons on them. And that's what people, were able to own and have, and legally, by law, by every right, should have had and still should have. And that's why, honestly, you should be able to have an F-16, or if you want a destroyer, you want a modern destroyer. If you got the money for it, dude, fuck it.
Calhoun says it's a Giordani, how you say that?
That's Giordani. The Giordani, yeah.
And he also said that we're going to hell for that one.
What, this one?
Yeah. Eduardo said that I made him laugh. I guess because I was laughing. Oh my God. I laughed way too hard at that.
Poor guy. I feel bad now. Wonder if he's seen that. This dude's seen that fucking clip. Okay, let's see what Chrissy Marr has to say about the Wakanda opening in New York.
So excited to see Wakanda Forever here at White Plains.
I know. I feel the same way. Whoops, exit only. Okay. Wow. It's like they're already sending me a message that they don't want me to come in. Now, I've already pre-purchased my ticket.
Dude, what are the numbers that Wakanda Forever look like? Hold on, let me pause this real quick. Like opening weekend or whatever. Opening night box office. 84 million. That seems not very much. Like what was I don't know.
Endgame.
Endgame, yeah, that's a good one. $1.2 billion. Oh, that's what it stands at. Opening weekend, let's have that. 103 million. Wait, hold on. In domestic market, U.S., Canada, Endgame set records for highest gross opening weekend, fastest cumulative gross through 650 million. It also set several single-day records and had the widest opening and release to date. Endgame gross 103 million in that time. So it had 103 million a day, and you got 84 million so far. When did it come out?
Wakanda, I think, came out, yesterday?
So it's one day. So, but that's like the first day is always the highest gross, right? Like usually, anyway. I shouldn't say always, but just seems a little low. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not sure. But it does seem like this place is pretty empty for opening day.
Because Black Twitter told me that I shouldn't be here. This is opening night, by the way. This is Thursday, 3 o'clock, opening day of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. As you can see, I don't even know how we're going to make our way to the theater. It's so jam-packed. I don't know how we're going to get popcorn in time to get to the movie. I don't know. Okay, now we're making our way in. It's very crowded. I don't know if we're going to be able to find our seats. Wakanda
He's got a motor, and the killer is in plain sight. For at least one.
Yeah, that's the other part. There's like 6 people in the fucking theater. That's all I wanted to see, really.
Let me know if you see any black people so I can...
But yeah, you guys saw that whole thing on Twitter of like, there was black people being like, oh, if you're a white person and you go to opening day of Black Panther, you need to give up your seat for a black person who doesn't have a ticket. And if you don't, you're racist. No, that's not how that works, I don't think.
No.
I think if you were really racist, you wouldn't even want to see that movie at all, right? You'd be like, fuck Black Panther, I'm not going to go see it ever. I'm never going to pay a penny for it. Daniel says, Tim Pool said the movie was extremely racist to Mexicans. Dude, I thought the original... Okay, correct me if I'm wrong or put in your opinion here or whatever. And I haven't seen this movie yet, so I can't speak to this movie at all. But the original Black Panther movie seemed to me to be one of the most racist, race-baiting movies I have ever seen in my entire life. I mean, you had, like, black dudes dressed as gorillas jumping around a fire. You had fucking, like, all of this imagery and messaging about how black people are oppressed across the entire world and this and that. And, you know, like, it's okay and it's good for the black people to uprise against it and cause violence and all this other stuff. Like, there was several different angles that it hit that just, like, was just tickling that racist fucking thing. It's like taking the dying embers of racism in this country and, like, fanning them and making sure that they don't die and, you know, adding a little bit of fucking kindling on top so it can spark up again. That's what that movie was. I thought. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, yeah, it definitely had its moments where it was that way, I felt. But it was still an okay movie.
I mean, I'm not saying...
it was good. It was just, I could have done without all that, to be honest. And that's what I was kind of worried about too, doing the same exact thing, if not worse.
Yeah, and I can't speak to this movie. I don't know what the plot is exactly beyond fucking dude dies in the beginning or whatever somehow, and that it's all about like chicks or whatever. So it's like a chick flick almost movie. And again, they make way too many of these, right? Like empowering women because women aren't powerful enough. It's like women have always had power. Women have always had their ability to exert that power over men, and they use sexuality to get their way. I mean, like look at like Cleopatra, for instance.
Power
Fucked
of the
her way to the
pussy.
top, and she was like the most powerful woman in history at that point, right? Look at Kamala Harris. Like, how did she get into power? It wasn't through her intellect or her muscles. It was through her mouth and vagina.
Yep.
Literally. It was through her tits and ass that she got into power. And she used those things to her advantage. And am I saying that's not fair? No. I'm not saying that's not fair. But I am saying that the way that women are portrayed in movies these days is not correct to empower them. Like, that's not, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's not helping women to be like, oh, you can be a badass fucking warrior. Like, I guess you can't, there's some women that are, but is that the norm? Is that the majority of women? No, it's absolutely not. And to put that in women's heads where they think like, oh, a 90-pound woman can hit a 240-pound dude and fucking knock him out. Like, try that in real life and see how it works. It's not going to. Not unless you have a taser or a gun.
Or you're built like Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. But even then, like Ronda Rousey versus like any male MMA fighter, who's going to win?
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be lean, strong, 6'2", nice hair, a beard, make 6 figures, luxury car. Her.
That reminds me of the fucking liberal videos that were coming out, like a year or two ago. They're saying that they're going to stop having sex with men, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And they look like that right there.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel says, average woman versus black belt versus that black belt who wins.
You're wrong, Daniel. But hilarious.
I think the exact same thing happens. Just the way the guy's like, ah!
I wasn't expecting the whole fucking pillow kicking. That's what got me.
So Boebert finally pulled ahead. It's a pretty fucking close vote, though. She won by quite a bit more last time, if I remember correctly. But 162 to 160. It was 161, basically. She's just over 1,000 votes ahead.
Is it called, or is it still going?
Oh, let's look at it. Real Clear Politics, which is not very clear at all. She's in District 5. Is this house? Dude, this is not clear at all, Clear Politics. See, I wish you could just click on Colorado, but you can't. Looks like they're like all 98, 99% reporting, though. So, yeah, it's basically fucking called. There is, with a vote that close, I think the potential for a, like, recount, you know? And in that recount, who fucking knows what can happen? I mean, like, that shit happens all the time where it's like, oh, this person won, but it was only by 1,000 votes. Let's do a recount. And then they throw out 1,000 votes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
what did the numbers look like as far as, you know, the Senate and the House?
Not good. Currently, Democrats hold 50 seats in the Senate. Republicans hold 49. There's still, I believe, 2 votes to be called. And then in the House, I mean, we're obviously like Republicans are leading in the House now, just barely though. It looked like it was going to be a blowout, but now it's pretty close. And there's still several seats that are to be called. So let's look at the Senate first. So they got Georgia. Democrat has 49.4. Republican has 48.5. And it's 99% counted. So it looks like, again, Democrats are going to pick up another seat, which would put them at 51, which would mean that they're the majority. But then the other one is Alaska, I think. No, that one's already been called. I guess this is the last seat.
Georgia goes to an automatic runoff if it's less than 50% for either
Oh, it's
person.
Georgia is the other one. Okay, yeah. No, wait, that is Georgia. Fuck, what's the other one?
It's just Georgia goes to a runoff right now because neither guy has 50%.
Okay. I'm glad you know these things. Then we'll go to the House. And there's still several seats that can go either way. Looks like quite a few, actually. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So really, I mean, at this point, if the Democrats win all of those 14 remaining fucking areas, possibly more, then yeah, Democrats will be winning the House too.
Yeah, and you only have to have, what, 218, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. So, yeah, I mean, and the way they're counting votes, it's like one at a fucking time with a kid with Down syndrome, you know? It's like, Jesus Christ.
So it looks like we're losing the Senate, which we had it before, and we may gain the House, which we lost it before. So it's just flipping the House and Senate.
So really nothing has changed. I mean, it's changed, but it really hasn't. Because they still got the presidency. They're going to have the Senate, just barely. But we have the House if things continue to go the way that they are.
And if we do manage to get the House, how long did fucking Pelosi retain the Speaker of the House position?
That's the one good thing. Like, if Republicans gain the House, Pelosi's no longer Speaker of the House, which means she's probably going to retire. Like, she's probably fucking done. Which means they'll get another fucking turnkey Democrat to fill her position or whatever, but at least she'll be out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of good, I guess. But this certainly isn't the red wave that we were promised.
Right, yeah.
And again, what is the reason for that? Why aren't the Democrats being blown out of the water because the economy, because of COVID shutdowns, because of fucking crime, because of all the problems that are facing the country, war in Ukraine, all this other stuff, right? All of it stacks up. All of it stacks up against the Democrats, except for the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, which fired up all of the women folk and the cucks out there who want to fucking please the women folk.
Yeah, I do wish they would have held on to that and after the midterms.
Again, dude, I think it was a social engineering move. I honestly do. I honestly do. And I said that at the time. I said that when they did it. Like, they're not doing this for when Matt was all fucking about it. Matt fucking loved that shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, dude, like, this doesn't really help us. It really, really doesn't. It hurts us in a way.
Yeah.
And turns out I was fucking right.
Well, it's also like Matt said, though, it's the Republican voters are a lazy bunch of motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're great at playing defense, but they suck at offense.
Now, are you talking the Republican voters?
Yes, the Republican voters.
Because
like Texas, for example, we have 30+ million people in this state, but only a little over 8 million actually fucking voted. Where the rest of the motherfuckers? Granted, yeah, you have to give a percentage to them being minors. I'm sure there's a percentage that have already passed away since the census or the voting or whatever. So, but still, that leaves a majority of people that are eligible to vote that are not voting.
I think it's less that they're lazy, because there's probably a fair amount of people who are in the middle who see like the WWF fucking wrestling match going on in front of us.
Yeah.
And that's the Republicans and Democrats are fighting for control or this or that, but they're really working together when it comes down to it on key issues, right? So they're both fucking like two heads of the same snake in a lot of people's eyes. So why would I vote? So that probably explains a good amount of the people who didn't vote. Again, kids and dead people. Yeah, that's another good number of those people in Texas, yada, yada, yada. But my thing is,
I've also known many of people over the years that, and my mom was one of them, that refused to vote because they were a firm believer that their vote didn't matter because they're just going to put in power who they choose anyways.
The thing is, though, the difference, I think, is in activism, right? People on the left tend to be more involved with the activism, with the knocking on doors, with the like trying to get people votes on a grassroots level from the bottom up, versus people on the right don't. And why is there a difference there is my question. And I think the answer to that, in my opinion, is people on the left are dependent upon the government. People on the left get the government handouts, are the beneficiaries of the government programs that would be at least partially, if not totally, abolished if the right were to gain control. So they have a direct financial incentive to go out and do those things to ensure that their side wins. Versus people on the right tend to get their financial incentives from working. Right? You get your money from going to your job. You pay for your groceries because of your job and the money that you make, right? You're not dependent upon the government for food stamps or for social programs or for, like Section 8 housing or any of these things, right? So therefore, their focus is upon work, not the election. They'll go out and vote, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be the ones out on the street knocking on doors trying to get people to fucking turn in ballots and stuff. And I think that's the main difference right there, is the activism that happens on the left versus the lack of activism on the right, which may seem like laziness or apathy, but when you consider most of the people on the right have jobs and kids and stuff and are not dependent upon the government to have those things, versus most people on the left don't have kids, a lot of them don't have jobs, and a lot of them don't have stuff and are dependent upon the government, they're more willing to like get upset and go out and do something about it. So that would be the difference, I think.
Yeah. I still say laziness plays a role in it.
Yeah, laziness, apathy, especially when it comes to voting. If you disagree with what the Democrats are doing and you don't go out and vote, then yeah, I agree with you. But
do you think that the whole January 6th bullshit also scared a lot of voters on the Republican side?
I think the January 6th thing stopped a lot of fucking protests from happening. Like a lot of protests that would have happened, that would have showed the number of people who were against, trans issues with children, or border issues with letting people in and stuff like that. Like you look at what happened with January 6th and what happened to those people, and it's so easy to preempt a group of people like that because all you have to do is put in a couple rabble-rousers who are going to smash some things, and all of a sudden there's fucking committees and investigations and FBI's going after fucking individuals for things that they may or may not have done, as happened in January 6th. There's a chilling effect that happens with that. And that stops people from, again, being being activists for whatever cause that they believe in, for fear that the federal government might come down on them with an iron fist.
Yeah, and Brian Knight also brings up a good point, too, and that shit pisses me off, how a small majority of one state gets to dictate the rest of the entire state.
Yeah,
he says, look at that little blue dot in Philadelphia, and it decided the election. when the rest was red.
And what works for the people in that little blue dot doesn't necessarily work for the rest of the people in the red parts. You know what I mean? So there's that part too.
Well, it's
Steven,
also.
Oh, good.
I was gonna say it's also Philly and Pittsburgh. They're in Pennsylvania. They're a 77 county state, and they should technically have 77 reps in their state house. They have like almost 200, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, way beyond.
Stephen Carroll says, none of this seems sketchy at all, just like 2020. All on the level. Yeah, it's fucking Patty holding the football, saying, I'll hold it again. Go ahead and kick it.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel dropped in 5 and says, watching the literal commie takeover of our country, imagine the day they steal the majority of both chambers of Congress and the presidency. That's probably... Okay, here's my prediction for 2024. We're in for a rough ride for the next couple of years, right? Like, they're going to hold on to the economy through probably Christmas because they don't want fucking people being like what happened right now. They want people pissed off about things when they go to the ballots in 2 years. And they're going to stuff as many people as they can into the country, give as many people voting rights as they possibly can until Republicans in this country are just outnumbered basically everywhere, right? And when it comes to voting, they're going to have as much mail-in voting as they can possibly have in as many of these districts that have Democrats in them, even if they're in the slight minority because they have control right now. To where, like, here's the thing, like, if you really care about something, like going out to vote the day of voting and standing in line and voting is kind of a pain in the ass, right? Like, it takes up like half your fucking day. But if there's a mail-in ballot and you get it, a month in advance and you could just fill it out at your leisure and drop it in the fucking mailbox, how many people aren't going to vote? Especially if they don't really care. And a lot of the uninformed people who don't really care tend to vote Democrat. So by virtue of that, you're going to be outnumbered just because, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, 2024, I don't think Biden's running again. I think he's going to drop out. He's going to make way for someone else. I don't know who it's going to be. But they're going to come up with somebody. They're going to do the math and figure out who it is that they have to put out there against whoever it is that's running, if it's Trump or DeSantis or whoever. And they're going to get the presidency done. At the same time,
if we even make it that far.
Well, we will.
I don't know, because I can see them, like the whole frog in a pot scenario. The rest of the year, make you feel like you're in a nice warm jacuzzi where starting probably spring of next year, they're going to start cranking that fucking heat up until you're frying by the end of the year.
Well, I mean, they already did that in Venezuela. Is Venezuela still there? The answer is yes. Venezuela is still a country. Be it as that may, there's a whole bunch of Venezuelan refugees or immigrants or whatever you want to call it camping outside of Texas right now trying to get into the country. But that's because they had a place to go that was better. What happens when America falls? What happens when America hits that hyperinflation scenario that was caused by basically communism in Venezuela? They had a place to go, right?
The whole world falls.
But in America, that shit happens. They got nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you going to go? It's not like you can go back to Europe. They don't want you. They're not going to let you in. It's not like you can go to Canada. Canada's going to be just as bad, if not worse. It's not like you can go to Mexico. Things are already bad in Mexico. And if America starts going down, like, they're attached to the ship. They've got a tether to us that's going to drag them down with us because their economy is necessarily dependent upon ours. If ours is strong, then theirs does well. If ours is bad, then theirs is fucked, So there's nowhere to go. And that's why they want, more IRS agents so that they can continually add to the, get as much credit out of us as they can possibly get, so that their loans will be as good as they can get them to be, so that they can continue that power as long as they can continue that power. But the American dollar's out, dude. the petrodollar's done. Like they're talking about the BRICS countries, I think is what it's called, and all of them are stacking up against, basically using U.S. dollars to trade in oil. They're all going against it. They're using Russian rubles, which are backed by gold. They're using fucking cryptocurrency. They're using anything that they can that's not the fucking dollar. And the more that they do that, the more it undermines the fucking dollar bill, the more that we are going to be fucked, because we can't just push a button and print more money that's worth anything to anybody.
Yeah.
And that's the future, dude. That's where we're going. That's huge economic downturn. And whether it's in 2 years or 4 years or 6 years, it's going to happen. I think it's probably likely going to start next year, starting January. Layoffs, 100,000, $1 million a month, something like that. AOC for speaker in 2024. She won, didn't she? She fucking got reelected. Of course she did.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Daniel says, Elon says he will be making a starship a day by 2024. Maybe he will be our savior. Well, he was already talking about how Twitter might be going out of business because of the economic downturn. Because you heard about all that shit that happened with Twitter, right? Like there was blue check mark people that paid their $8 to get their blue check mark and then changed their name to it was like some pharmaceutical company. And they said like, oh, we at this pharmaceutical company are going to give away whatever drug it is. I forget what drug it was. It was like insulin or some shit. We're going to give away insulin for free to everybody. And then the investors in that company were like, what the fuck? That's like a huge part of our fucking, of how we make money. I'm going to sell right now. And they lost like $2 billion overnight because of that dude's $8 tweet. So Twitter's freaking out. Like they're probably going to be sued because of that. Elon Musk is probably going to be sued because of that. I think Elon's probably going to lose more money than anyone in history in the next little bit, which sucks because he was a guy who's really trying to do what's right for humanity and fight against these powers, but he identified himself as a target for these powers, and they're going after him. They're going after him in every way that they can, and since they control so much, even a guy like Elon Musk is going to be unable to fight back against it, I think, as smart as he is and with as much money as he has.
Yeah, and it's strategic. They're doing it on purpose because of who he is.
Well,
They
because
don't like the fact that he took over Twitter.
He's not from the club, Like
Yeah.
he didn't go to the same parties, and he's not in the same groups, and he's whatever it is that they're all part of. And to answer your Yosha's question, do you think he's doing it on purpose? No, I don't think he is. I think he's being targeted. Like, why is Twitter losing money right now? Because all of the activists went out to the advertisers who were giving Twitter money and said, like, you better not, because we're the activists and you do what we say. And so a lot of these, like the advertisers on Twitter are pulling back their money, kind of waiting to see what happens. And Twitter's losing $4 million a day right now. And then you throw on top of that lawsuits and bullshit and government intervention and all this other stuff that's going to be happening necessarily in the near future. Yeah, Twitter's going to be losing fucking money. And they're going to have to lay off basically everyone and switch their entire fucking program or go out of business. Which sucks because people talk shit about Twitter. I like Twitter because, it's a good place to get information and compile things and know what's going on. You can know up to the minute what's going on just by going to Twitter.
Yeah.
Before you listen to Bill Gates about anything, remember he visited Epstein Island 17 noted times. 17 times. Do you think they've got dirt on him? Do you think he does exactly what they fucking want him to do?
Mm-hmm.
100%. 100%. He's the guy who will do what they. I mean, he's always been a liar and a pirate. You ever see what's the name of that movie? Pirates of Silicon Valley.
No, I can't say how.
Well, it's all about how he stole the operating system from someone else who developed it, and then fucked over his business partner to gain control of the company 100% for himself. And then, yeah, like licensed the shit that they were giving away for free and started charging for it. Like he did everything that he could to fuck everybody over along the way. And now he wants to rebrand himself as some sort of a philanthropist who's out for humanity.
Yeah, fuck him.
No, dude, he's a piece of shit. And the fact that he's been to Epstein Island 17 times means they've got videos of him that he doesn't want anyone to see, that will destroy his entire life if they make the light of day. So he will jump through the hoops that they put in front of him. They say jump, he will say, how high, sir?
Yeah, another scary thing is that he owns more fucking farmland than anyone else in the United States. He's been buying that shit up like fucking candy.
I think it's because they told him to buy it up like candy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got the grand plan. I think he's just a fucking pawn, right? Like,
yeah, another cog in the wheel.
Who are the real people in control? It's not Bill Gates. It's the people who tell Bill Gates what to do. Mark Malone has an answer for that, but I disagree fundamentally with blaming the whole population of people, even though there's a few people at the top who happen to subscribe to that same religion. Doesn't mean that the whole religion is guilty of what, you know, is up there. But yeah, there's some Rothschilds. There's some, like, just go to a Bilderberger meeting. Like, you'll find all the pawns and the kings and the queens and the bishops and the rooks and the knights all hanging out together.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be me in December.
Told you, bitches. You should have listened.
Just glad I didn't get jabbed. My kids aren't jabbed either.
Yeah, me too.
Here's the newest member of the United Nations Council on Climate Change. This 20-year-old chick. Because she knows what's going on, and her voice needs to be heard. And I'm sure she sucked zero dick to get there.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of hot, though.
Who is she?
Sophia Kenai. I am 20 years old, and I am the youngest person to ever be an official United Nations advisor. Gen Z is finally at the decision-making table. Yeah, at least, you know, she's better to look at than David Hogg, I'll say that.
All right.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Hello? Oh, can somebody please take a picture of me? Hello? Please a picture. Oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh my God!
That elephant knows what he's doing.
Give me that titty.
Like, what are these? I want to feel them. Calhoun says, I can hear it now. Like, oh my God, the earth has like a fever. Oh shit, Leo's here. I don't know why no one showed up tonight, dude. This is, you know, it's all good. I've been holding it down. How you doing, Leo?
I've been okay. Yep, everything's good.
How's things in Chirac?
You know what? I don't even watch the news anymore. About as far as like the local news, especially since the way we voted. So we're gonna get more of the same bullshit. So I really don't care about what happens to this damn state anymore.
Time to get out.
Yep.
I say we all meet in Texas. I hear Corey's got some land.
Not yet. Not yet.
You need to work on that, Corey, and we'll all meet you there. We'll We'll build our hippie commie in there.
I mean, I'm not surprised on the way that Illinois has voted, but I am disappointed.
All right, let's listen to this real quick. I forget what this even is.
This tweet from the red-headed libertarian, who says, "This might be my finest prediction." In one image, the red-headed libertarian said, "We are totally going to find out in mid-November that no one's getting their loans forgiven. LMAO, Biden, you playa."
Yeah.
And then we have November 10th, 8:08 p.m. breaking. Federal judge rules Biden's plan to cancel hundreds of billions of dollars of student loan debt is unconstitutional and must be vacated. And all of these people, they ran these videos where it was.
So there you go. I mean, 11/10. When was the vote? 11/8. So 2 days after the midterm election. And that was another thing that was keeping a lot of people from, like,
not voting blue.
Yeah, well, it made a lot of people vote blue because they're like, oh, these are the guys who were forgiving our loans. So it brought more people to the polls who probably wouldn't have voted otherwise. Like, people who had no interest in politics, but hey, $10,000 of my fucking student loans are gone. Booyah, fucking go Democrats. I'm voting Democrat, right? Another social engineering aspect that turned out to be a fucking big fucking nothing. Like, they're not forgiving anyone's fucking loans. They're not.
And the sad thing is that they will forget that here shortly, come 2 years, 2024, it's like it never happened, never said. Because them fuckers do not learn and they don't pay attention.
Oh, Calhoun says I got to read those in Valley Girl voice. I can hear it now. Like, oh my God, the earth has a fever. What was the other one? I don't see the other one. There is no other one. Not on my side anyway. Well, whatever. You got your Valley Girl voice out of me, so like, oh my God.
Totally awesome.
Okay, I saw this guy's fucking hardcore. I like this dude. This dude's fucking badass.
Howdy. I was just down in the tack room and spied this old bridle hanging there on the wall. And although it's 80 to 100 years old, it got me thinking of today. And not so much the horses, but the people. This bridle's got a specific design. Those blinders are there so that while working, the animal can't get distracted with what's going off on this side. It can't get distracted with what's going on that side. It sure as hell doesn't know what's going on behind it. All it knows is to go straight ahead and do what it's told. Sound familiar? Well, folks, it's about time that everybody stopped and took their fucking blinders off and best look behind you, because the World Economic Forum just came up torch in hand and lit your fucking wagon on fire. Everything that you know, your entire way of life, is under direct assault from them sons of bitches right now. Your sovereignty in the nation that you live, your financial stability, your food source, your energy source, your transportation, and your freedom as a human being are all under direct attack by Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. It is Mr. Schwab's intention in his fourth industrial revolution to integrate your biological self with your digital self, to remove God from the equation, the miracle of life. These fuckers are serious, people. They're playing for keeps. This isn't a joke. So it is time. Take your blinders off. Look around you. Realize what's going on. There's some serious shit coming up behind you. Once you see what's going on and you arm yourself with facts, start telling people. This is where we have to sway the mass of consciousness. We have to make people aware. Information is invaluable right now. That's your ammunition. You are a warrior. Use your accurate information and truth. Spread it. Get in the fight. I love each and every one of you.
Wow. Fuck yeah. Well said.
You know what?
Hell yeah.
That old man's hands is huge. That's why I was just looking at it for the most part.
That was your takeaway, huh?
Yeah. Like, man, if he hit you with those things, shit.
Oh my God.
I mean, compared to the rest of his body, he got like some Popeye hands.
Well, he's got these bracers on to hide his forearms and how big they are.
Right.
Bro, what he's saying is correct, right? They intentionally put things in people's way so they can't look left or right, so they just go forward. You know, you got your bills, you got your rent, you got your job, you got your stuff that you got to take care of. So all you can do is just keep working and move forward. You can't look behind you, because if you look behind you, you'll see all these fucking impending things coming up on you. Some of us have looked behind us, right? Some of us look left and right and behind us and see what's going on. But there's a whole fuck ton of people who haven't, who won't. How do you get through to those people? How do you get through to the people who refuse to see the danger that they're in?
You don't.
You have to. Well, that's the thing. If you don't, like, the people who see it already see it. We already voted, right? Like, you see what the fucking numbers are.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't wake up the people who haven't taken the time to take their fucking blinders off and look around them, then we're just going to keep going down the track that we're on.
No, I know, but there's just some people out there that refuse to take their blinders off, that don't want to be woke up because they want to keep status quo.
There's got to be a way to get through to them, though. And I don't know if it's showing up to their meetings and, you know, speaking as a friend, or if it's going on Twitter and getting in their face, or making YouTube videos that get shadow banned and demonetized every time. I don't fucking know, dude. Like,
the only way I can see waking those people up is it when it finally hits them personally, hits their front door, hits something that they love, they like, whatever. It's going to take something like that for they'll open their eyes, or either hell, it may even take something, you know, horrible catastrophe to happen. And by then it may be too late.
Yeah, just about to say that. By then it may be too late. I think the best way to do it is try to reach the youth, the younger people, because I think right now everybody else is set in their ways.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look from the voting, excuse me, if you look how the way Gen Z voted, right, it's going in the wrong direction right now.
Yeah.
So we gonna have to reach them more than trying to get all these older people that's already set in their ways. And like Corey said, it's not going to hit them until it's right in front of their face. And but then by that time it's too late.
Well, and not only that, but by that time when it actually happens, they're going to have a plan for how to spin it in their favor. You know,
true.
Like when it hits them in the face, they'll realize, like, oh God, this isn't going right. But it'll be spun in a way that makes it our fault, right? Like, makes it your and my fault because we didn't go along with the system. Makes it not the people in power's fault somehow because of whatever it is that happened. Because it's always a Hegelian dialectic problem, reaction, solution that happens. And so when they know that this impending problem is coming, they'll put something else out in front of it, right? Like a COVID or Ukraine, or I think it's going to be fucking Taiwan, war with Taiwan. Then why can't you get the goods in the store anymore? Oh, because Taiwan's, you know, China's not going to trade with us because we're on Taiwan's side. The reason why we're on Taiwan's side is because of these Republicans. It's the Republicans' fault that you don't have anything on the shelves. Therefore, blame your fucking neighbor, not us. It's not our fault. It's your neighbor's fault. But yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, the point is, you got to get to them now before that happens, in a way that they can hear, in a way that's going to make their mind change and see reality. And I don't see how to do it. There's got to be a way, though, dude.
I think you'd have to, for the Democrats to, you know, start attacking like social media and stuff like that. The stuff that the Gen Zers and the millennials and stuff actually grew up caring about. Because, you know, it seems like that's all that's important to them is, you know, the twatters and the fucking Instagrams, and you know what I mean? Maybe you can get on there and and just blast them with facts and everything, little by little, and build it up more and more as time goes on. Other than that, I don't really see a way, honestly.
Well, their feelings don't care about your facts. That's already been proven.
I know.
And so you got to figure out a way to get through to their feelings. And you don't do that by blasting them. You do that by empathizing. You do that by listening and gently showing them where they're wrong in a way that they can understand.
You can only coddle so much and act like that before it needs to be just smacked in their face.
Yeah, but if someone smacks you with something in the face, I don't care if you're right or fucking wrong. Fuck you.
Well, I don't mean do it all at once. I meant to say
saying, like,
slowly build up.
Like the guy at the dog park thing that I was talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Like the dog running at my kids, he's fucking wrong. I smacked that fucking dog in the ribs with my fucking foot. Now he's mad at me. Like, I smacked him with fucking reality. He's not going to listen because it was smacked. You know? Like, I could have, like, gently tried to coddle the dog.
No.
Meanwhile, he fucking bites my fucking kid's face off. You know what I mean? Like, that's...
Yeah.
Like, what is the answer? I don't fucking know.
I don't either.
Calhoun says, I was talking about the 20-year-old UN climate chick. I can hear her saying that in Valley Girl already. You know it's funny when you have to explain it. LOL. No, I know what you were talking about. You said there was messages above that. I only saw one. So that's what I was talking. I knew what you were talking about when you did that. Oh my god. Totally Valley Girl.
So
Yeah.
Okay, meanwhile in Russia.
Не, скажи за Россию. За Россию.
Пью за медведя.
За Россию. Россию только. За Россию.
Probably the best way to drink beer and watch it to a whole new level.
Jesus Christ. See, this is why you don't let fucking women vote. Oh, I gotta turn the music off. She sees him do it, too. She had to have seen him do that. But no, it's got to go over, because I already decided that that's the way it is. All right, honey, let me help you. We'll just get it over. Okay, there we go. All right, my turn. I got to go over, too.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe she's trying to burn some calories. Right, it was a workout for her.
Work out of the wrong muscle.
Right, it's work harder, not smarter in this case.
Yeah.
We were talking about Weird Al Yankovic. I just pathetically tweeted this well before that. But let's watch Weird Al Yankovic.
I feel worse than I did the time someone stuck a crazed weasel in my pants.
Hey, you letting a little robbery get you down? Don't be a crybaby. Get creative. How about a wrestling match? What do you say?
Come on. You want to wrestle?
Yeah.
You want to wrestle, Mr. Man?
Yeah.
You don't even know what you're in for. You are the world to hurt, my friend.
Really?
That's right. Come on, bring it on. Yeah, that's right. You are going to get it now. You, my friend, have finally met your match. All right, Harvey. Go get him.
Oh no!
Don't be a crybaby. I can't even do that voice, dude. Jesus Christ. Mother of the Year. She saved the line. I guess you don't want the broken glass around the baby, but you could always pick up the baby and clean up the broken glass rather than, you know.
I don't know how much was that bottle though.
Who said it came in a bottle? It probably came in a bag.
Right,
Yeah,
or a box.
Yeah, it's a box wine. It looks like a box wine mom right there to me. Friend of mine went to the attic of the home he just bought and found a 1980s era Coke can He was surprised the mice would chew into it.
Yeah, that's mice, all right.
Yeah, mice totally did that.
That mice have a smoking problem.
Yeah.
If you don't know, if you don't have a pipe and you want to smoke some weed, that's how you do it. Many a Coke can has been modified by E Honda back in the day. Not anymore, though. It's been almost 2 months now. Another week and it'll be 2 full months.
Nice.
Like 60 days, 62 days. Oh my god, this is too loud.
Are you coming?
Oh no! Our table! It's broken!
Oh, that oh no, our table is broken is not the same fucking. That's from a different.
Right. But the dog did see it coming.
Coming?
Oh no!
Jesus.
Fucking dumbass horses. You know, horses will run into a burning barn because they get confused. Like, they'll be outside of the barn that's burning and be like, oh no, fire! Ah! And then run into the fire and die.
Maybe it knows that it's delicious when it's well done.
Yeah.
I've never knowingly eaten horse meat, but that being said, I have had Burger King quite a few times, so I probably have.
Have it your way.
Charbroiled.
The baby formula shortage is still creating challenges for families across the country. I didn't know that was still going on, but it makes sense, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That it hasn't gone away with all the food producers not fucking producing food. Remember when that was a big story and Biden was going to do something about it? And all he did was, like, put these people in place to, like, go advise these companies of how to create more product, but they didn't really do anything at all to, like, help them create more product. They just gave them another layer of bureaucracy to deal with. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
We all remember.
I think it's hilarious that 9 News took down their election results ticker once Boebert took the lead in her race. Fuck you, 9 News Colorado. Fuck you, Kyle Clark.
And who did you vote for, Honda?
Kyle Clark.
Nope, this is my ballot for Heidi Ganahl for governor, who lost horribly. It's terrible.
Same thing for Bailey in Illinois.
Yeah.
Lost horrible. It was a total wash. Like, goddamn, it was so funny.
Like you say, our votes don't matter, and sometimes they're fucking right. Like places like Colorado, I might as well not even vote.
That's what I'll be saying. I'll vote just to keep up my registration.
Well, that, and if you don't vote, you don't have the right to bitch.
I mean, you can. If there's nobody to good for it, then who the fuck am I voting for?
Right, but still.
If I have to choose between a giant douche and a turd sandwich, I choose not to vote. This time, it was a giant douche and a really awesome lady who would have made a fucking great governor. But unfortunately, I'm surrounded by turd sandwiches. So my vote didn't matter. I literally voted no on everything, like all the little measures where they're like, hey, do you want to give lunches to kids for free? Like, no, I'll pay for mine. Hey, do you want to make housing for people for cheap? No, I'll pay for mine. Hey, do you want to do this for mushrooms for people in Colorado? No, we've got enough drugs. Hey, do you want to make wine in fucking stores available? No, I don't. You can go to the liquor store and buy it. Like, all of those things pass except for the wine in grocery stores.
Really, that's the one that failed. That one is the only one that failed.
We had 2 ballot issues here. One was to make sure that violent criminals stay in prison through high-level bail. The other was to make sure illegals don't vote in our elections. Both passed by like 78%, something like that.
don't even remember what was mine. I know one I've said no and one I said yes to.
Calhoun says in my state it's against the law to take a picture of your ballot. Really?
I think it used to be that way in Illinois too. I don't know if it's still the same.
I thought that was everywhere because every time I've ever gone and voted, it's like your phone must be left in the vehicle. You can't have any kind of electronic device on you.
Right. But I know they recently changed it once social media came out. Then they said, no, it's okay.
Well, I mean, when they mail you ballots and I could just fill it out in my fucking office here and fucking, take a picture as I want.
True. Then I guess, yeah.
But I can understand why you wouldn't want, like, people recording people inside of... But even then, like, why? Right? Like, what am I going to catch on camera that's going to, like, taint the vote somehow? I don't understand.
Fortification. That's
it's all fortification.
My local polling place, there was a guy that was asking about cell phones because they had, like, a sign that said no cell phones on premises or whatever. And she's like, you can have it, just don't film.
Yeah, well, I took a picture. Fuck off. It's not a very clear picture. It's a little blurry, but you can still see.
And honestly, with modern technology, how much sense does that make when people can wear, eyeglass cameras or button cameras? I mean, they're really going to do something nefarious anyways. There's well beyond means to do so.
Right.
Oh, Daniel gets it. They can't change it if you got a picture of it. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And you've seen the things like, okay, so like in... I forget what state it was where they do ballot harvesting and it's like legal to do, right? What they will do is go and pick up your unfilled out ballot and say like, oh, we got it for you, blah, 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 you're good. Or if you've already voted, they will take your fucking sealed envelope and steam it open, right? They'll put like steam on the outside of it till the glue releases and they can open it up and check to make sure that you voted Democrat. And if you didn't, they can go through and change your votes and put little initials by things and shit like that, and then reseal it up and mail it anyway. Like
that happened during 2020, right? I remember hearing stuff about that.
Yeah, I mean, and it probably happened in 2022. I mean, dude, you look at these fucking numbers again. Overall, we fucking outvoted them. Right? Like if you look at total votes, it's 42 or 47.29 million for Democrats. It's 52.08 million for Republicans. So it's like almost 5 million more votes for Republicans than for Democrats. How many votes did fucking Biden win with? I forget. It was like 60 million, 78 million.
I thought it was like 81 or 82 million. Or no. I might be thinking something else. I don't remember. I know it's fucking astronomical, more than I ever thought he'd get.
Election by numbers. Blah, 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 blah. I don't see any numbers. Well, I don't want a state-by-state breakdown. I want the fucking totals, bitches. Fuck you. Council on Foreign Relations. Why did I even go there? Pew Research.
But you can clearly see the clear disconnect between cities and suburbs.
Oh, yeah.
Versus, small towns and farms.
Yeah.
Suburbs. I said suburbs. Suburbs.
Suburbs?
Suburbs. The Burbs.
That was a good movie, The Burbs.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, I don't want a fucking state-by-state breakdown.
And that's why the Democrats want it to be by popular vote now. Because they know there would, like any other party, not just Republicans, would never win. Since you got cities where everybody just stacked on top of each other.
81 million. There we go. Finally got the fucking answer.
I thought it was 81, 82.
So 81 and 74. And right now we're looking at 47 and 52. That's like 60 million people who didn't vote this time around. Who did last time? That's a huge fucking difference. I guess that's midterms versus presidential election, though. That always happens because not nearly as many people care about the midterms. But if you look at that, if Republicans had voted at the same level that they did for Trump, then this
we would have had
been
a red wave.
Yeah. Because we would have had another 18 million votes across the country spread out, obviously. And some of these areas would still be blue, obviously. But overall, a lot more of them would be red. A lot of these contested areas would be obviously red, you know?
Well, the thing that so many fail to realize when it comes to midterm elections is those are going to be the future people that try to run for Congress and Senate in like 5-10 years down the road that are current state senators or state reps or whatever.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of faggotry.
Yep, you got a bunch of faggotry.
I actually want to share something here. This is a map of the Ohio House right now as it stands for the 2022 midterms. So Democrats always love to talk about how, you know, gerrymandering is a thing in all these places. And then you can look at the major cities, which is obviously at the top here. You got Cuyahoga County, that's Cleveland area. That's all gerrymandered blue. You got Franklin County there in the middle. You can't even read it because it's so many different districts there. Those are almost all Democrat. And then down at the very bottom there in Hamilton County, Cincinnati, that's got a bunch of districts as well. Specifically in Franklin County there, 9 of 11 districts went blue. Only 2 of them went red. And only one guy won by 96 votes. That was what it was. And that's going to be a new state rep.
9/11 was an inside job. Yo, let us still say, check your Discord messages. Send you a picture of a car I delivered today that I restored for a customer. This thing's nice, dude. Monte Carlo.
Damn.
Ooh.
Looks good, dude. Paint's good. Looks good with those new tires and shit, and windows all like not chipped up and fucked up like all these old cars always are.
Yeah, and I like the paint job.
Why
I do like those 80s cars, man. They're fucking something about them.
Yep.
To me, when I first saw it, and even looking at it now, it still looks like the fucking kit car from Knight Rider.
The design of cars in the 90s was just horrible.
Minus the Supra. I like the Supra. Yo, bro, is that a Supra?
Oh, you talking about the 90s Supra?
Yeah.
Do you like the new one?
Nah, I like the 90s one better. Or the 90s Mitsubishi 3000 GT.
Because the new Supra is just mostly BMW parts than anything.
I always like the way these fucking look. Like, look at this fucking thing. If it'll load. Just fucking nice. Sweet. Sleek line.
Yeah, like Japanese cars in the 90s were great, especially their sports cars, but they kind of...
Well, they had those old
Teeter off.
turbos. They had those old turbos that had to spool up, and they didn't have the double clutch fucking automatic shifter and shit like that. So compared to like cars today, they're slow as fuck. But they still look cool.
Right. And they still kept with the inline 6 instead of like going V8 mostly.
Yeah, loves to cheap gets it. Japanese 90s cars are the greatest. Americans 90s, blah.
Yeah, true that.
Although I don't like the 90s Japanese motorcycles. But the 90s American motorcycles look exactly the same as the ones today. They like barely fucking changed, dude.
Why mess with perfection?
But yeah, like those 90s fucking like super bikes that they had, like they just look fucking weird. But the 2000 super bikes, fuck yeah, dude, like 2006-ish. Even still, great bikes. Yeah, look at the back seat in this thing. You had to be a midget child to fit in the back.
Fuck that.
And plus, the Acura NSX was good too in the 90s.
Yeah,
cars like that, cars in general, I don't really care for, even though I own a Dodge Charger right now, but I have to fucking crawl into them bitches and crawl out. They're too low to the ground.
So my buddy had a what was it, a GMC Jimmy, like 4-wheel drive, like fucking SUV, and then my other buddy had a 3000 GT, and we were going to go get Mexican food at this place like 6 blocks away, not very far, and they were like, "Oh, let's race," right? And I hopped in my Toyota Camry is what I had at the time, and I was like, "Whatever, you guys have fun. I'll see you there." And the dude in the GMC fucking like just drives over a curb and fucking into the parking lot, and he's fucking there. And the dude in the 3000 GT's like, "Oh yeah, watch this," and he fucking like slams the gas around a corner and wrecks into a fucking car.
Oh,
yeah, completely fucked his fucking car. This was summer between high school and college, like when everyone started to have jobs that made money, you know, and people started to spend money on stuff. And all my money was going to college, so like I just had my fucking Camry. Actually, that was before my Camry. When I think about it, that was my. I had a Pontiac Parisienne. This was my first car. Let me look this shit up. Parisienne. This thing. It was brown. Mine was.
Hey everybody!
Not this color.
Anthony here. SpecialtyMotorcars.net.
That thing's in fucking good condition, though. Damn, look at that.
Got a nice one for you.
This was a boat, dude. We got caught in a flash flood in the middle of Denver one time. Flash flood out of nowhere. Like, we started to drive across the street as, like, a stream was going, and before I got to the other side of the street, like, it was flooded, right? Like, flooded the engine. Can't start it anymore. We're just bobbing up and down. Like, the front end, because of the motor, was, like, stuck to the ground. But the back end is just full of air, so it was like a boat. And so it was just like fucking like, you know, what's the word? Bobbing up and down. Yeah, that's it. And we're sitting there like, fuck, what do we do? And a fire truck comes by, and we're like, oh, cool, we're saved. The fire truck's here to save us. No, the fire truck was not there to save us. It was there on its way to another call somewhere else and had to drive through the intersection. And it was big enough and high enough where it could drive through that canal. And when it did, it picked up a giant wave that picked up the entire car. And it would like, you know, fucking like, oh my God, we moved like 100 yards before it stopped. I thought we were going to die. Got the car towed back home. Still wouldn't start like a week later. I had to take apart the fucking the carburetor and take some leaves out of the carburetor because it was in bad shape.
Yeah, but those things were built like a fucking tank back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember growing up, we had an 88 Oldsmobile, and that motherfucker was solid.
Yeah, and it weighed as much as a tank.
Yeah.
It was a great car. It had a V8, dude. Like, that thing had power. It had power in spite of how much it weighed. You could still fucking romp on the gas and get up to highway speeds. I got that thing up to like 120 one time. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to... It was like, okay, so it was like this giant hill in like the woodsy area by my house where I used to live on that map I was showing you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like downhill and straight and nothing. So I'm like, okay, I want to see what the top speed is on this thing. And the speedometer only went up to 85. So I actually don't know how fast I was going. The speedometer went all the way back around to 0. And if you were just like, if everything stayed the same, it would have been about 120, 125, you know, somewhere in there. Jesus. Anyway, so I'm like, fuck, dude, I need to slow down. So I take my foot off the gas and I just touch the brake on this motherfucker. And the whole car starts going like... That's the day I almost died when I was 16. Oh, Dan's here. Dude, we have like 1 minute left and Dan just got here.
I'm sorry. I just got off work, man.
Well,
my first vehicle was an 85 Ford step side, 318, 4 on the floor. I love that truck.
Same here. I just got off work too.
Yeah.
I think we should just quit our jobs. Fuck it.
Oh, one of these guys?
Quit our jobs.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get money?
One of those, Corey?
Yeah. I love that son of a bitch. There's a stepside.
We'll let money come to us. Right. It'll magically appear.
Just vote Democrat. You'll have it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll just get on EBT.
Yeah, get some food stamps going. Get that Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
All you need to have is that's for chicks. You just need like 7 kids and then no daddy for them.
You can claim some kids that's not yours, you know.
Big Daddy government.
Calhoun says 86 Mustang GT first car, slow as fuck. Yeah, that's when the 80s Mustangs had the fucking they were going through that fuel crunch. And so they designed all the cars with like 4 bangers that had fucking no nuts at all. But it was still like a Mustang. Too. Yeah, I didn't like those 80s Mustangs.
God, they were fucking ugly.
In a way, though, they were better than the older Mustangs because at least they worked. But
I didn't like the Fox bodies that much, to tell you the truth. And like everybody loved Fox bodies, but not me.
I always wanted a T-top. I've never had a T-top.
Yeah, I like the T-tops.
My first car was a Nissan Stanza, 1986.
What is this? God damn, your most searched thing is Rachel's Place 26? My most searched thing? How do you even know that?
Because they were showing you when you were searching up vehicles on YouTube just now.
Oh, because I'm not subscribed. I've had to check on it a few times, I think, to see what's going on over there, to be honest. You never know what kind of Nazi accusations are being thrown around the handler.
Right.
That's funny. Let's do it again.
Oh, man.
No, okay, so look, step side 318, I just searched that, so it's number 1 now. Here, let's remove this. Remove it. Gone. Ooh, nice strike 1.
Nice strike.
Look, I've got Never to Duke Poop Song. Oh, Let on Steel's here now, too. Oh, goddamn.
What's going on? Oh, man, I guess we got to go another hour.
What's up, Simple Dan Led? Sorry, I didn't.
What's up, Corey?
Set up for Yamaha HGO3 for StreamYard, because I was having a hell of a time setting this fucking microphone system up, dude. It's been a bitch. Yankee Marshal, because fucking communist. Makes your mic plug. Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle.
Hi, guys. Come on my show where I'll ambush you and talk over you and mute you because I'm a commie.
Yeah, we already had a fight about that earlier in this chat. I'm still kind of seeing it.
Oh, really? What did I miss?
I don't even want to go into it.
Okay, fair enough.
Perspective podcast. I forget what that was for. I was searching that up for some reason. Oh, it's because there was a guy that I was trying to get on the podcast, on my podcast, because he has similar numbers to me and talks about similar stuff. Because I'm still trying to branch out and reach new people and get new people on the show and fucking do some stuff, but no one wants to talk to Honda for some reason. Maybe it's because of my hands. I don't know what to do with them.
All right. Your hands.
You're not watching your screen. It's fine.
Oh, well, I see a big thing that says live right in the middle of everything.
Yeah. What's going on, Lit on Steel?
Not a whole lot. How you doing?
Chilling, maxing out, relaxing on the pool.
Shooting some b-ball outside of school.
Yeah, that's right. There's just a couple of guys who were up to no good, though.
Started making trouble in his neighborhood.
I got
one little fight. My mom got scared.
Your mother was your auntie and uncle in Bel Air.
I have an aunt and uncle in California, but they're not in Bel Air. They're in the redwood forests. It'd actually be cool to visit them. I forget the name of the town that they live in, but it's like right in the middle of all those fucking giant ass, old ass fucking trees that are like, illegal to cut down or whatever.
The redwoods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, there's a plane crash again.
Matt still fucking Jesus. The way that big one just broke apart so fucking easily.
Don't make them like they used to. Oh shit! Can't show that on YouTube.
That was closed.
Leopold, what's the most expensive optic that you guys have? Is it? Because mine's like, I think it's the Strike Force 2, the Eagle 2. I think I paid $450 for it, and I refuse to spend more. That's it.
I got a Holosun 510C. I think those are worth about $200.
Yeah, so you're cheap like me. I like it.
Well, it's not that I'm cheap. It came with the gun. It came with the gun. So, and I got that other one just recently. The hell is it? I can't remember. It's worth about $100 if I were to sell it used.
So you're cheap like me. Got it.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple Romeos that are like 200-ish.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of Vortexes that are 200-ish, and a Vortex that's like 400. So
that's what it is. It's a Sig Romeo 5.
God damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. I've got like 9K in my thermal. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Well, he does have fuck you money, so doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he drops like super chat after super chat.
If I had $9,000 in something and I can't drive it home or fuck it.
Yeah, 9K is going into a car, not that.
Not a thermal, yeah.
Yeah, there's no fucking way, dude. Like, that's like 8 months rent.
Yeah, exactly.
I could live for, quite a while on not forever, but maybe 3 months on $9,000, paying all my bills, eating out, getting stuff for the kids, doing stuff. That's 3 months worth of money, dude.
Yeah,
unless you live in New York City, then that's a quarter of the rent.
Yeah, that's maybe 1 month. Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it. Daniel's got not set up and fucking all kinds of expensive ass optics, like fucking I can't remember what they're called. The military uses them.
Yeah,
ACOGs.
He's probably dressed like Garand Thumb right now.
Yeah.
All flannel.
Brian Knight says, "Damn, dude, my car was $3,500."
With a heater.
It's all about perspective. When you buy $1 million+ machines for your company, 9,000 seems like a drop in the bucket.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. And it takes money to make money. So
that's a 3-day vacation for some people.
Yeah, but even making a million.
40...
Sorry, go ahead, Corey.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, even making $1 million, I'm not dropping 9K on the rifle scope.
Shit.
I'll drop it on an engine in a heartbeat, but not something for a gun.
Right. I mean, didn't he also spend like $47,000 or something like that on a CNC machine?
I mean, how good is that scope? You might change your mind if someone that used one.
I mean, I've dropped 25,000 on engines, but that's for business.
Yeah, but once you get that scope in your hand and then you look through it, you use it, shoot it for a while, you might think different.
Yeah, but the deer doesn't care what I kill him with.
Yeah. Right.
And
I'm talking about the people you kill with. No,
they're not gonna care either.
Yeah, Daniel, it was a drunk purchase. That's what I was saying.
In a scenario, let me say that for YouTube. I'm talking in a scenario.
Yeah, defensively, Susan.
Leo's planning on killing people. That's what I heard.
Well, he is from Chicago, so.
Damn, Leo.
They've got mutual combat there.
Yeah.
Dude, look what you can get for $9,000. We're almost there.
Although if you're using a scope,
Daniel.
I don't think the combat is that mutual.
Damn, Daniel, that's a lot of money in one machine.
So yeah, get a Ducati Multistrada. That'd be fucking nice. A ZX10. That'd be fucking nice. An FJ09. I don't care about that.
Or you can get a 300cc Vespa.
Dude, these Husqvarna fucking motards. That's the fucking bike. That's the most hooligan bike you can possibly have. Oh my god.
Get one.
Now go to.
If I had $9,500, I would, but you know.
Put it in your cart. Put it in your cart right now.
Now go to the Moonlight Bunny.
I don't think
rack to
Craigslist
see
works
what
like
9K gets you.
Oh, well, Craigslist, okay.
Daniel, Honda needs a new bike.
Yeah, can I have $9,000 for this bike, Daniel?
It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, it's just a drop in the bucket.
I wish I could. I wish I could.
Well, like, isn't your son trying to get a car? Y'all could just split the money.
Yeah, I gotta fucking find a car for him. We're thinking about $4,000-ish,
Give him a van.
Sucks, dude. Like, cars are not the same as they used to be for $4,000.
No, they're not.
Like a $4,000 car used to be like, damn, that's actually a pretty fucking nice car. Now it's like, is that thing gonna make it home? Like, I don't even know.
Right.
Okay, we're up to $1,000. Where are we at? Still 1,000.
1,000?
1,500.
Stay away from anything German made or English made.
Well, we're going Japanese, buddy.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say, get him a Subaru Forester.
How un-American.
When it comes to cars, dude, fucking, especially like 20-year-old used cars, fuck American cars. I'm sorry.
I'm right there with you.
And get yourself a Geo Metro.
If they made anything good that was worth it, that would like stand up to the test of time and be like durable and good, then I would say, yes, I will buy an American car. But since America decided to just make everything as cheap as they possibly could for a long ass time, then
except for the Crown Vic, that thing's a damn tank.
I was about to say, like, Chevys are always built like tanks down there.
Yeah.
For the most part.
All right.
If he wanted a bike for his vehicle, would you get him a bike or help him get a bike?
Fuck no. No, I wouldn't. If he wants to get a bike on his own, when he's living on his own and he's paying his own rent and he has a car and he can do everything on his own and he scrounges together money enough because he really wants a bike, then he can get a bike. But I was thinking more like something like this, a Honda Accord with 215,000 miles on it. That's a good car.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true dad.
Belt. As long as I kept up with the timing belt and the fluids, it's all right.
Yeah.
He needs a pickup.
Oh, come on, Craigslist. Fuck you. A pickup? No, because then everyone's going to ask him like, oh, I need help moving. You got a pickup? Come on over. Fuck you.
Hey, so that's income. Like, how much you paying?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
He'll be the neighborhood U-Haul.
Yup.
I do like these old 4Runners, but they always have a fuck ton of miles on them for that price. Like, look at this, 313,000 miles.
Oof, a lot of miles.
Yeah.
It's just getting broke in. What are you talking about?
But I've seen these with 500,000 miles on them, so that's it's still not dead.
My car is in relatively.
Yeah, that's a Lexus. That's probably gonna cost.
No, look, it's Toyota.
Oh, it's Toyota. Wait, so I had a Lexus steering wheel.
And then Lexus steering wheel.
That's funny.
I'm sure. I'm sure the fucking airbag's never been deployed.
Right. That's still in really good condition for that many miles, though.
Yeah. Like my car, I drive a Hyundai, and it's got 240, and the engine's still in good shape.
How about
Give him
that
that
old
Nomad.
Studebaker? Right there.
Do you see that Nomad up there? Isn't that what it's called, a Nomad?
What, this thing?
No, the same vehicle Tim Allen had on Tool Time.
That doesn't help me.
The fucking thing on the right. Go down one section right there.
This thing?
Is that a Nomad?
No, it's
1961 International.
Oh, International.
Yeah, No.
Oh, shoot, look at that bumper.
Look at that
Honda,
rust. Oh man, look at that rust. It
Get
doesn't
that
even
and
have a
give me a.
gas cap. Look, there's no gas cap. I'm sure that doesn't have water in the tank.
Get that and send it to me with $100,000, and I'll have you a car. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Get those super chats ready, guys.
Yeah, Daniel.
See, this one wouldn't be bad either. Like 250,000 miles, which is a lot, but these things last till 400. Manual transmission, that's good. 4-door little fucking Honda Civic. Really, I should be getting him a Toyota Camry, though. That's the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the everyman's car.
Ooh, I get him a Prius.
Oh, yeah.
And my Prius.
How much does that cost right there?
$3,500.
Oh, that's not bad.
Plus probably another $8,000 to replace the battery pack.
Right.
And now, do your son like other boys? That is the question.
He will after I get him that car. Hyundai Elantra. Fuck Hyundais.
No, that's a good car. That's what I drive.
Nope. No, thank you.
So that's what's wrong with you. Not playing.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I like reliable vehicles that get 50 miles to the gallon. You know, yeah,
What the
my
hell
bad.
is that? 1940s.
On the left.
Yeah.
Bantam, Hollywood.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It just needs a little paint.
That looks like some shit from Jim Carrey in The Mask.
Yeah, right.
Man, if you could get that
The
restored,
Lona.
though, that would
It's
look
the Lona.
awesome.
God damn it! What?
I said if you could get that restored, that would look awesome. Like whoever would take
You
that as a
restored.
project.
Look at this thing though. Jaguar Type 95. 95,000 miles on it.
That's a drug dealer car.
My wife would love to have that right there.
Everybody in the hood used to have one of those.
This thing's
what's
got to
the
have
price tag?
What thing is, like, those Jags were cheap.
This thing has to have something fucking majorly wrong with it though. To be that
Not
cheap.
really. Like those Jaguars have been cheap. That's why
No,
like,
it doesn't-
a bunch of people had them.
Does it have Mexican plates?
Says no mechanical issues and everything's in English. Oh wait, no, it is.
Issues for right now.
95 mil millas como nuevo. Never mind.
Oh, wow. Did I call it or what? Yeah, that's a drug. That's a cartel car right there.
Well, they're all in fucking Spanish, dude. It's Denver.
Yeah.
Everything, like, I guarantee you, like 2 out of 3 of these is gonna have fucking like Spanish subtitles. I did like these Jeeps though. That's got way too many miles.
Nah, I don't really care for the Jeep Cherokee.
It has to be the Jeep Grand Cherokee.
There's like no Camrys here at all. Okay, we gotta look for Camry.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna head on home, guys. I'm gonna tune into the chat on YouTube and see what's going on. So I'll talk to you guys later. Later.
See you, man.
Later.
2003, 97. This is about the one right here. $3,200. 100. Dude, this is the car. This is it. 4-cylinder engine, just fine. Runs great, no mechanical issues. Has 149,000 miles. Vehicle's been in the family for some time. The option of power windows, power locks, blah 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 blah. $3,200.
Not bad at all.
This would be a great car.
Yep.
Unless it's in Aurora. Is it in Aurora? No, it's actually right down the street from me. This is it. All right, I found him a car. Oh, and I got a $2 super chat because I was looking at cars. I'm sorry, Calhoun. Get him a manual. It won't be borrowed or stolen.
Right.
I had a Camry that I bought with, it was like 160,000 miles. And when it finally fucking broke, and it was my fault that it broke, it had like 450,000 miles on it. Like, that was a great fucking car. I really liked that car.
What'd you do to break it?
I was drunk, and it leaked power steering fluid all the time, and rather than getting it fixed, I would just put more power steering fluid in it, and it would make a sound when it needed steering fluid. You know, you turn the wheel and it makes that sound or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was drunk and it was at night, and I opened up the power steering cap and I poured power steering fluid in it. And it turns out that was the brake fluid that I poured it into.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, like, the brakes started seizing up when I was driving it, and I was like, I still don't have money to fix it. I'll just get to it when I can, and the fucking engine blew out. Because it was, like, grabbing the fucking tires. It was my fault. Yeah. I fucked it up. I was a dumbass. Little front end damage on that Camry. Yeah, there's a little bit. It wasn't bad, though. It doesn't look like.
No, not really.
I mean, it's just the clear coat coming off, and yeah, it looks like they hit something going like 5 miles an hour, you know?
Or Fetterman sat on it.
Yeah, that thing's fucking clean on the inside, though. And that engine bay is fucking clean.
Yeah.
And those are both good fucking signs, you know? Like, all the fucking... Nothing looks like it's, like, corroding away or, you know... Looks like some of this was recently replaced. Worked on, at least. Yeah, fuck it. All right, boys. Well, we've been going 3 hours and 20 minutes now, which is a little bit longer than we normally go. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say good night, y'all. And I'm...
See you, buddy.
I hope y'all are ready for tomorrow night's Gay Frog Chat, because we're going to be talking about Behold. Wait, what's the name of this? It's The Pale Horse. Hold on.
Behold with the pale horse.
Yep, that's it. Not Book of Revelations. There was a book written by a ex-CIA agent before 9/11 that predicted everything that's happened in the past 25-ish years, 23 years. Came out, I don't know, about a year before 9/11. And the dude died in a one-way shootout with the cops 2 months after 9/11 because he kept talking about it. So look forward to that. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. But I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I hope you enjoyed the show. And yeah, that's about all I got. You guys got anything else?
No. No.
Penis.
Penis.
Later, you bunch of manginas.
Penis in your anus.
See you guys.
Peace out.
Bye.
Later, yo.